Trinidad.
What's up, Trin?
We were talking about you today. Hey, John Ogle, Raider Lorian, B. Al, Raider Paul, Ty, holy cow, Gianluca, Ghostmaster, Ariel Zuniga, Hooyah, Raider Primos, Hooligan. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
They all
Full
piled
house,
in.
huh?
Yeah.
Everybody's excited about the draft, huh? Love it.
Hey, Kevin the Raider Nerd.
Hey, Kev. Greetings from Australia, I assume.
Oh, there's a girl in there, rack of libs.
That's Libby.
I know.
Oh, sweet. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Libby.
I guess that makes me mom.
Yeah, it
So you
is.
guys wouldn't be mom.
Hey, Johnny Apple Orchard.
Who's, is Devin the last? Oh, no, Devin and Charlie now haven't been on the show.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what we need to do to round it all out.
Devin's
Darius has
just
been
sitting at
on.
home.
Darius.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
Darius has been on, yeah. A few times. He's been on more than anybody
Yeah,
else's
yeah.
kid.
Right?
Back when
Hey,
Michelle was
Ray-Lo.
on the end over here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because he was always in your shot in the background, yeah.
You're joining us. Hit the like button, nerd. Appreciate you being here.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
Nice.
All right, here we go. Episode number 330 of Raiders Fan Radio. Oops, I got to hit the record button.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, there we go.
nerd.
Now I got it. Now we're recording.
Hey, it's Mike Garofalo, NFL Network here in the home office, and you are listening to the Raiders Fan Radio podcast, taking that lighter journey into the dark side with Murf, Swag Jeff, and Michelle. She's got great hair. It's a little pink, it's a little purple, whatever it is. I'll tell you what, if I could grow it, I would sign up for that color today. So listen to her and the entire crew as they give you all the information on the Raiders on the podcast that benefits the One Nation Foundation. It's a great cause. It's a great pod. Tune in, turn it up. Here it comes. All that Raiders info and takes coming at you right now.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Koleknikov, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio. Take it away, guys.
Why, thank you, Brett Musburger. What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for what we know will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, because we are talking the 2024 NFL Draft. So much to get to tonight. Appreciate everybody that is live joining us in the chat room. For those of you that are on the YouTubes, that is at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio, where you can find us each and every, Wednesday? Yeah, that's what the kids say. Yeah, Wednesdays at 4 p.m.
They do say Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty unanimous.
4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can always find us here on the YouTubes, or if you are on the audio version of the podcast and you want to hear the audio version of the podcast, then you can find us at any audio podcast service like Spotify, like iHeartRadio, like Pandora,
Amazon Music.
Yeah, man. Ask your internet connected
Apple
device.
Music.
Yeah, any of that stuff, man. You can find Raiders Fan Radio. And so we appreciate all of those of you. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat room. I'll leave it to my best friend and yours to shut up the chat room. But I do want to call out somebody, Raider Paul is in there. He says, hey, Murph, what games are you going to this year so we can link up? Paul, I wish I knew. And I say that tongue in cheek, but but I put out a post on Twitter this week about just being so excited and anticipatory around the schedule release, but we don't know when the schedule is going to come out. And so until that, which usually we can speculate it's going to be like May 8th, May 9th, somewhere around in there. But until the schedule comes out, being that we're out of market, that's what determines the entire calendar for us. And we can't wait to get it going because we know we're going to be out there for the Bolitnikoff dinner.
Truth.
That's been in October, it's been in November, and it's been in December.
Yeah, it's been all over the place.
It's been all over the place. It entirely is determined by the schedule. Then we've got our trip with Raider Dad, of course, which happens in the preseason game. We know that will be sometime in August, but we don't know when. And then we're doing a road trip with, this is the first time I'm mentioning it, we're doing a road trip this year to Cincinnati to go see the Raiders take on the Bengals.
Nice.
And we're doing it a joint collaboration with Silver and Black today. So we're going to be kicking it with Scott Gilbranson. We're going to be we're going to be reaching out to some folks to host a tailgate. We're going to do live broadcasts the night before.
We need to get Ron out there.
Right. Anybody that's in the Midwest has got to be there. Like you guys have got to be there. I'm sure Jimmy Zebach and all those folks. Anybody that's within throwing distance of Ohio definitely want you to be out there. But again, we don't know when. Because if that game's on Christmas Day, guess what? Probably not going to go. You know what I'm saying? And so our calendar definitely is determined by the schedule release. So that's a great question, Raider Paul, and hopefully we will have an answer for you soon. And by we, I mean me and
we're the three best friends that anybody could have. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. We're the three best friends that anyone can have. And we'll
never, ever, 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 ever leave each other. So let me start off by kicking it over to the man that adorns the eastern annex of the Murph's Fan Cave. Yes, he is my best friend and yours. He is Swag Jeff.
It's time and profile.
What up, Swaggo?
Oh, man, it's so good to be here. So good to be here. And
2 shows in a row.
Yeah.
Feels like the regular season.
I know, man. Well, because, the season started on Thursday. Because we find our new batch of Raiders and we got some good ones, and I can't wait to get into it because, for people that were a little worried about that first round pick and stuff like that. Not anymore, man, and not until the very end either. I think we got a whole bunch of dogs. We got a whole bunch of Raiders that are seriously gonna fit right into what we got going on with AP, with Max, with the whole crew, man. So I'm fired up. I can't wait to talk about it. But Murph, we don't do the show alone.
Heck no.
No, thank goodness for that. So the real talent of the show is sitting over here to my left, and that is the lovely Michelle Swag.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey. I'm so glad to be here too, and I'm really glad the draft is over because now we can really, I guess sort of dig in. I don't want to dig in too much because a lot of those guys ain't going to be there when the season starts. So, I mean, not the draft picks, but all the free agent or the undrafted free agents that they picked
the
up.
undrafted ones,
17
for sure.
undrafted free agents. It was
Yeah.
But I think every one of these guys, I think every one of our draft picks from the first pick to the last pick.
All right. Easy. It's Michelle's turn for the intro, and then we're going to get into the show, and then you can platform about your draft.
Well, you didn't let us talk about the Raiders before the show, so I'm jonesing, man. Let's talk about this shit.
No, it is really exciting, though. I'm right there. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
All right.
Well, you just tell me when I can talk.
Michelle will point to you.
I guess so.
I'll tap on your shoulder.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, all right, Jeff, now you dance. Okay. All right.
Go.
Go. Will you please shout out the chat room there?
I would love to. Absolutely. So Paul Edgerton's in there. Raider Paul is in there. East Coast Raider, Ariel Zuniga, Raider Lorian, Kevin the Raider Nerd, Atticus B. Rockin, Just Win Wendy. Hey, Wendy. Let's see. Jordan Ford, Raider Primos, Leo, Van City Raiders in there. How about that game last night, Van City Raider? Schmucky the Raider Bear, Trinidad, Elon Bush, Gianluca's in there, Yoshi. We got the whole crew, man.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. We appreciate you all so very, very much, all of those of you in the chat room and otherwise. So, hey, one more quick thing about the show, if you wouldn't mind. helping support the show through all the audio services or the video services, because everything that we raise around here, we give all of the money away to various Raiders related charities. We give money away to the Max Crosby Foundation. The largest organization we give money away to is the Bolitnikoff Foundation, but we also give our money to a really amazing organization called Raider Dad. And what Raider Dad is doing is they are taking underprivileged kids and their parental figures to Raider games. And not only just taking them to a game, they're providing them with a kick-ass Raiders tailgate. Jay's Gourmet is out there. Texas Roadhouse is out there. Happy Dad's out there for the adult beverages. It's an amazing tailgate they put together for these kids, and it's so cool to see that tailgate in action, because you got kids that don't even know each other that have been selected by Raider Dad to attend. And these are kids out there. They're throwing the football. They're having a good time just playing with each other. And the parents are out there. It's such an amazing organization. We're so proud to be linked up with them. And Raider Nation, we wrote them a check today for $3,000. And that is based 100%
Love it.
on your generosity. We don't do that without your generosity, Raider Nation. We love you guys so very, very much, and what you've done to support Raiders Fan Radio and the One Nation Foundation. Our generosity cannot be expressed enough. I could do an entire show thanking everybody, because even if you can't support the show directly through, by super chats and whatnot, anytime you buy merch from us, anytime that you just even hit a retweet or a like on a video, all that stuff helps us with advertising, and we take all that money and give it away. So I can't thank you guys enough. We love Raider Nation. Raider Nation truly is family and does it better in family and community than any other sports fandom group that has ever existed. So thank you guys. We love you.
Love it.
All right. Each and every week, Swag Jeff takes our episode number and ties it back to something significant within Raider Nation. So Swag Jeff, tonight is 330. Who do you got this week?
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I got nothing. I hadn't checked my email. I showed up late. I almost pulled an Uncle Mosh. Almost walked in right here at the buzzer. So I didn't have time to show prep. I didn't have time to do anything. So this week I'm going to put you on the spot. So this week on episode 330,
Murf I got one.
Okay, good. Murf takes a significant moment within Raider Nation, relates it back to the episode number. Murf, who do we have tonight?
Well, tonight is 330, and we hate math, but we love numbers.
We do.
So my birthday is 330. It's March 30th. Oh. So there you go.
Oh.
So 330. So I don't know if that counts as a significant moment in Raider Nation, but
it's a significant moment in Murf Nation.
Absolutely. Right. And you know what's fun about the 330 is that when I turned 30, it was 330.03. Isn't that fun?
Oh.
Yeah, anybody that digs numerology, that's kind of a fun one there.
Libby's going to love that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So anyways, there you go.
There you
That's
go.
all I got. That's off the top of my head. That's all I got.
I love it.
All right,
perfect.
Let's hit some contact info, Swag Jeff, and then let's get to some respect.
Okay, deal.
Woo!
Woo! Woo! Hey, Raider Nation, you got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murf would say,
909-345-3346.
How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. The Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio.
Why is that so funny every time?
Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio.
I've heard this 330 times.
I know, right?
TikTok
Still
at
funny.
Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some of you
out there,
have your
man.
Twitch. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good. Oh,
Nice. We nailed that just like the Raiders did the draft.
Oh, heck yes. We're talking about the draft, Jeff. We're not in that segment yet.
Oh, gosh, I can't stop talking about the stupid-ass draft,
I know,
man.
right? It's awesome.
Oh,
But before we get to the draft, we got to give some respect.
Yeah,
we do here at Raiders Fan Radio, we do a little segment called Respect. We don't do props. We don't do shout-outs. There's nothing wrong with those things, but we're Italian, so we like to give a little bit of respect.
Murf, Swaggy J, Nation, it's time for a little respect. You know, respect ain't bought, it ain't sold, it ain't demanded, it ain't negotiated, it's earned. And without blowing smoke or giving shameless plugs, we want to say salute and much respect to the following folks.
Draft. How come everybody we drafted goes by initials?
They did have a plan.
JBB, JPJ,
Nice.
everybody goes by initials.
BB.
TT, Tom Telesco.
Oh, I was going to say Trey Taylor.
Oh, Tim.
Oh, TTs.
Some areolas and, what are you going to do?
In the biz, we call that a callback. We love to see that. Love to see that.
Oh, shit. Making my glasses fog up. All right. So we're going to give a little bit of respect. And it's so funny to kick off this segment with somebody that's not a Raider. But actually, I'll tell you what. I am going to kick it off with something that's a little more Raider affiliated.
Okay,
I'm going to reverse forward here.
Yeah.
You guys, I won't give you the big tirade, the big rundown. You guys have heard me talk about the folks at the Last Dive Bar plenty as it is. But just want to shout out what the folks at Last Dive Bar are doing. They're set in with their next reverse boycott, which is getting ready to happen in Oakland. For those of you that don't know, this is a big fan group that was a huge supporter of the Oakland A's until the A's basically turned their back on them and have shunned them and have not only shunned the Last Dive Bar folks, but everybody that's that's an A's fan in the Bay Area. And again, I'll save you the whole tirade, but what they're doing and the way that they're proving that fans will still come to the beloved Oakland Coliseum, despite its lack of amenities and it being a dump, but it's our dump. And if you put a good product on the field, people will still come out. And so watch, they're going to pack this thing. They'll have 30,000 people in the parking lot that won't even, that was the last one where they were actually in the parking lot. They're going to go to the game, but they'll have a coordinated effort where they'll chant certain things in certain innings. Like, you know what I mean? But the thing I love about it too is that they always support the players, which is one of the things that I love about the Last Dive Bar. So much respect to those folks. You just can't appreciate them enough. And so I'm proudly wearing the t-shirt for those of you on the audio podcast, and all three of us got the wristbands on. And so if you know about the Last Dive Bar, you know how important that is to Oakland sports. And of course, that's always going to be Raiders related, being that's the birthplace of our Oakland Raiders, or the Raiders period. But anyway, so appreciate what the folks at Last Dive Bar are doing. And I will say one last thing, and this is Raider related. Anyone that's comparing what John Fisher is doing, leaving the city of Oakland, is way different than the dynamic when it was with Mark Davis. Mark Davis genuinely negotiated and entertained and drove to have the Raiders' home stay in Oakland. And the politicians in Oakland chose the A's over the Raiders because they were there for 80 games and not 8. That was the famous statement, right? So this is a completely different dynamic than John Fisher uprooting the team when there is entirely the amount of support there, and hasn't really in good faith negotiated to the lengths that even Mark Davis did. He just split. So that's a totally different thing. And, people could say what they want about Mark Davis, but and I'm not telling you got to like the guy, but we like the guy because we've seen him in action and we've seen what he's done for for not only the franchise, but what he's done for the fan base. Like, no one's a bigger Raider fan than freaking Mark Davis. And so I give him respect as well. But don't conflate. There's a word we were talking about before the show. Don't conflate those two things together. The Mark Davis and Oakland situation is way different than the John Fisher and Oakland situation. And so anyways, we appreciate everybody at Last Dive Bar, and we'll move on. All right. So I got one more, just a quick one to give to you.
Okay.
So this is a respect for somebody that's not a Raider.
Okay.
This is for, and you have to pardon the language if you got young ears in the car, tell them earmuffs. So this is the GM of the Indianapolis Colts,
so good.
Chris Ballard, right? Have you heard this, Jeff?
No, I haven't.
This is amazing. And the reason that I chose to play this and respect him is that we're so used to GM speak and we're so used to coach speak. It's so nice to hear somebody just come out and talk like we would talk. Mm-hmm. Just say it like it is. And what in the case here, he's talking about the criticism of a young player coming out of college and going to the team. And this, not only do I respect it because it shows that transparency into that, but it also shows that, a lot of times the media folks, they're full of shit. Mm-hmm. And I would tell you that most of the time, media folks are full of shit. Everyone's driving an agenda for either clicks or relevance or whatever the thing is, or even opinion. There's always something behind it. And listen to what Chris Ballard says about the way that the media has responded to this one young man.
That was said on TV. I mean, just a typical fucking, excuse my language, our typical league, unnamed sources, bad interview. That's such bullshit. I mean, it fucking is. It's bullshit. Put your name on it. I'm tired of, we tear these young men down. These are 21, 22 young men. And if people out there can tell me they're perfect in their lives, it's crap. It's crap. This is a good kid. And, for those reports to come out, I said it last year. It's bullshit. I'm sorry. I apologize for the language. I don't, but I do.
It's my favorite part.
Yeah. I don't, but I do. But isn't that so true? It's like, like he says, they're tearing down these young men that are 21 years old. Now, listen, I'm not trying to provide an excuse for sloppy behavior. You do something stupid, you need to be accountable for it, regardless of what your age is. So I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that by judging someone's, the future of their career or the future of their life or whatever else based on a singular action or a handful of, I'm sorry, man. Whatever. I think it's great. And I applaud him for doing that. And I'll end it with this and then we'll go to you, Jeff. It reminded me so much of Herm Edwards when he said, if you're going to say this, I hate it when reporters go, well, some people say this, or the word is this. No, just own it. Or as Herm Edwards famously said, put your damn name on it.
Yep.
Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't speak out of court and say, well, what I saw, you ain't saw nothing.
I love it. That's a damn truth, man. Put your name on it. Even if it comes back to bite you in the, I'm going to shut up. Turn it to Jeff. I swear, I feel, I'm thankful that the three of us in this room and most of the people that we interact with are willing to put their damn name on it. Even when we're wrong, we say all the time, we're not sitting on these microphones trying to get everybody to agree with us or espouse that our opinion is correct. But this is my opinion at this time, and I'm going to put my damn name on it. And if it comes back that it's wrong, well, so be it. But this is the way I genuinely felt at the time. And when you genuinely feel a truth about something, then that's the only way to handle it. Anyways, all right, shutting up now. Go, Jeff.
Well, I got 3.
Oh my gosh.
I got 3. And
you're going to respect the draft?
Not yet. Not yet. I will definitely get to that. Hold on. Let me get a White Claw.
Okay. There you go. We're still waiting for a drink sponsor around here. What are we doing?
Whatever this is, whatever I'm drinking, it's delicious.
Whatever I'm drinking.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got 3. So first one, I want to give a shout out to or a respect to Jimmy Raider Duke. So I'm rocking the new logo, one of the new shirts that we've got. So right there. So it's kind of an homage to the Vegas, welcome to Las Vegas sign that he made for us and generously donated that to us. So you can find that on our TeePublic page. So much respect to you, Jimmy. I want to give respect also, and you can turn the camera over to you because you've got something right there that I want you to hold up right there. I want to respect our friend Rob. It's Silver and Black Studios.
Jeez,
so we got the last 3 of these posters, and it's an amazing Raider Nation poster. If you're on the audio, it's got Max Crosby, it's got Jack Jones, it's got Devontae Adams, and it's got Antonio Pierce on it. At the bottom, it says ill intent, violence, physicality, pain, which is just
badass,
it's unbelievable.
man.
And it says Tour 23 or 24, 25, and it's got all of our opponents down there at the very bottom. So he also sells shirts. So you go to silverandblackstudios.com, support what they're doing. We talked, Rob and I, we might do a shirt collab with them at some point to help benefit the One Nation Foundation as well. So much respect to Rob.
Thanks, Rob, and appreciate that. And if you ever want to send us stuff, we'll hang it up in the fan cave.
Absolutely.
Not lobbying for gifts, but I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
We do have a P.O. box, though. So.
That's right. And there's an entire wall back here of stuff that folks have given to us, man. We love it. We love your art. The one bar behind you?
Yeah.
Oh, you bought these?
Well, yeah. So respect to me for buying you guys.
Okay,
all right. But yes.
Yeah, like looking behind Jeff, that was from Raider Jesus. That drew that one of me and Mosh and Jeff. Like, that's so good. So good.
Absolutely.
And he did the one behind Michelle over there, the one of Michelle's visage.
Yeah, absolutely. So last but certainly not least, I'm rocking it on my hat. Much respect to the boys. To Bussin' with the Boys, to Will Compton, Taylor Lewan. Can't think. I'll tell you, those boys are like family to us, man. They really are two of the best in the biz, man. So we have officially gotten a very, very, very generous donation from them to the One Nation Foundation. All the support that you guys give got the attention of some big boys, no pun intended. And so they've stepped up to the plate. They want to be a part of what we got going on, and a very, very generous donation that helped contribute to Raider Dad, that's going to contribute to Bolitnikov and any of the other causes that we do throughout the course of the year. So cannot thank Will and Taylor and all the Bussin' JP and Garrett and Brett and all those guys, Jack, all those guys at Bussin' with the Boys. Can't thank you enough. You truly have put your money where your mouth is when you said for the boys. Michelle,
absolutely.
who do you got?
Thank you so much.
Okay, I know we're going to talk about the draft. So, when
are we going to do that?
But I want to specifically send some respect to one of my favorite parts of the draft, and it's the phone calls that the guys get. Yeah. Once Telesco calls the guy and then hands the phone off to Antonio Pierce, and it's such like a emotional, like tender moment, and I think that's really cool. And then we get to see that, they show it on their socials, and we kind of get a little glimpse into what that must be like. I can't even fathom what that must be like for the families that are seeing there, the friends that are seeing there. So that that's one of my favorite parts of the draft. So I want to a little respect on that.
Absolutely, Michelle.
I
couldn't agree more. And we've got a few of those to get to tonight. We're gonna play those got the call moments. And going in to this draft, my favorite one of all time was Amik Robertson. Still, Amik's was so powerful and emotional. There was one that got me even more so, and I know got you guys too. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about when we get there. But yeah, that's a great call out, Michelle, and appreciate the Raiders sharing that stuff on their socials, man. That's amazing. Paul in the chat room says, correct, Michelle. I don't cry ever. I don't cry at stuff. You know what I mean? If there's something like an emotional family thing or something like that, and even those, I'm just not that much of a crier. Jeff, you're a little bit of a weepy fella.
Yeah, I'm an emotional guy.
But I don't mean that as a shot. I just mean that, like movies and stuff, just don't typically move. But man, when I was watching, there was one in particular. We'll talk about it later. We got to that, and I was like, oh gosh, that's so sweet.
Oh, that's how you cry?
No.
Wow.
Okay. All right, Michelle, you got one more there before we get out of here.
So,
before we start, for those of you that are in the chat room going, who's going to talk about the Raiders?
Well,
in about 4 seconds, so chill out.
This is Raider adjacent, I guess. But
absolutely it is.
So I want to shout out, I guess we're going to shout out the
Summer of Swag.
The Summer of Swag. Am I in the shot?
Nice. There you go.
I got to stand up so I can see. Okay, I'm in the shot. The Summer of Swag, it's coming up. And so if you want to get it, you're all in the chat. So you already know where to go. But if you have people that you know, tell them to just what the...
Get it, Michelle.
I feel like you were fun.
Screwing up like you do.
If you tell them to subscribe, man, I need that button over there.
Yeah, right.
To this fucking show. I'm sorry, I had to say it because I was really in there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you want to get in on the Summer of Swag, you have to be subscribed to the YouTube. Because that's the only place that it happens.
Because a majority of our views on the video comes through the X. Through Twitter. So Summer of Swag. So if you're watching right now on the Twitter, it's a total separate app. So you can go to the YouTube, subscribe to Raiders Fan Radio, because yes, here in the next few weeks, the Summer of Swag will begin. We've got 3 of those jerseys, and they're signed by Hall of Famers, legends, both in the Raider world and the entertainment world. We've got Shooter McGavin on there. We've got Dennis.
Show it, Michelle. Show one more time.
Yeah. Hold it up there. We got Phil Villapiano up there. We got Foo. We've got Coach Pierce. Antonio Pierce is on there. We got Mike Haynes, Jim Plunkett, of course, Fred Bolitnikoff. We've got Lincoln Kennedy on there. We've got so many amazing
Hall
folks.
of Famers, Super Bowl MVPs, man.
And it won't come with a certificate of authenticity because we're your certificate of authenticity.
We got pictures of the guys signing it,
and we'll send all that to you as well. But yeah, so get in the mix, man. The Summer of Swag is right around the corner, and that's our huge fundraising push for Bolitnikoff, for Raider Dad, all that kind of stuff. So we need your support. We need your help on that. And we need all that stuff. And it's all through the YouTube. So I'm so glad that you tagged that, Michelle. Yeah. So wherever you're watching this, the Facebooks, the Twitters, or whatever, watch for a couple months on the YouTube, and all the super chats and all that go into the raffle for a chance to win any of those things and any of the other things that we raffle off during the Summer of Swag. Murph.
Absolutely. Good stuff there, Jeff. You did a great job. Great job, by the way.
Thanks for picking it up for me.
That's some good heavy lifting there.
I got you. Some
good heavy lift. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the break, Jeff.
You're going to hit a break.
Yeah, because you've been hitting all the brakes, and when I hit the brakes, it's because you're out of the room, and I've got new ones that I want you to hear. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, I want to hear that stuff.
Yeah, here you go. Did I really just spill a drink on you?
Yeah, you spilled a cocktail all over me.
How much on you is it?
It's in my shoe. It's in my everything. My brand new shoes.
Critique it. So what am I saying now?
So Raiders Fan Radio. This is Swag Jeff and Michelle.
Raiders Fan Radio. Okay. All right. Here we go.
All right.
Hey, my name is Lincoln Kennedy, and you are listening to Raider Fan Radio with Murf, Swag. I'm sorry. Let's do that.
No, it's okay. Swag Jeff.
Swag Jeff. Michelle.
And Michelle,
that's
yes.
Simple.
Yeah, that's like
Murf,
easy
Swag,
one.
Jeff, Michelle. Okay.
There we go.
This is Lincoln Kennedy, and you're listening to Raider Fan Radio with Murf, Swag, Jeff, and Michelle.
Thank you very much, sir.
Appreciate you so much.
That was great.
Hey, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Give it up for the legend, Lincoln.
Yeah, that was great.
That's
That's
legend
awesome.
himself, man.
That is so cool. All right, I've got one more for you. Ready?
Okay.
This is Dennis Haysbert, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio.
Love it.
Is that docile or not?
How cool is that?
That docile about it. We're in good hands.
Hey, I can write that off my taxes, man. I usually get about 50 grand for that.
All right.
Oh my gosh, those are my favorite.
Isn't that fun? It's fun.
That's so good.
All right, enough of us.
Enough in-house shit. I think new shit might be coming to
Let's
light.
do it.
Man, I've got certain information, all right? Certain things have come to light, and, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
Damn right. New shit has come to light. And so we are going to talk about the draft. And before we get to the draft proper, I'm teasing you again. I'm teasing you again. Let's talk about draft location. Okay.
Let's do that.
So Detroit beat Nashville this past week.
Dude, they did it big,
They
man.
did it big.
Really
770,000 people or whatever. And so when we were at the draft in Nashville, it was 600 and some odd thousand people. So I was frankly shocked that Detroit was the one to get us. I was surprised it wasn't Vegas, because we were in Vegas a couple years ago as well for the draft. And while it was surprising to see Detroit beat us, they always announce at the end of the draft where the next draft is going to be. And the next draft announcement, or the draft announcement came through, and it's Green Bay. Like, listen, I understand the tradition and the history of Green Bay, but it's Green Bay. Like people from Milwaukee only go to Green Bay for Packers games and then they turn around and go home. Like it's Green Bay. So I don't know where they're planning on doing the draft, but it's Green Bay. Like I don't get it. And so I put out a tweet. Actually, I've got a little pendejo for you here.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm going to call somebody out.
Good.
Well, where's the damn pendejo button at? There it is.
Pendejo. 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 Pendejo.
All right, so I'm going to call out.
We need to play that more often.
I know, right? Well, but people have been cool. So, I mean, when people are cool, we don't call them pendejos. But when you act like one, we're going to call you out.
We need somebody to hit us up once a week.
Well, you got one this week, and it's at Lindsay543 on Twitter, okay? So on the Twitters, I put out, I quote tweeted that the post from Adam Schefter that says that the draft is going to be in Green Bay. And I said, oof. The draft should always be in Vegas or Nashville, okay? And then I did a snippet of a video. This video I'm going to show you for those of you that are on the audio podcast or the audio podcast. Here's the video. This is us in Vegas with Jay Jackson, Graf, Hammer,
Samoan.
Wasted, Samoan, and most importantly, Charles Woodson. That's what the draft is like in Las Vegas. It should be in one of those two cities. Somebody came back, Mr. Plow said, got to disagree with you here, bud. Cold weather fans are, with Raider Nation being the exception, that proves the rule, the best for the draft. Let's do this in Buffalo, which, I mean, it's fine. This has nothing to do with fans. So I said Green Bay has zilch to do. Nothing to do with the fans, should always be in a party town. That's why Vegas and Nashville makes sense. And Linz comes and says, boring people can never find anything to do. And then there was a series of people basically calling out Linz and making memes and all that kind of stuff.
I don't even know what does that even mean?
Well, and there's an adage that it's like, if you can't find anything to do, then you're a boring person. And I get that. And listen, the RFR crew has never struggled to find a party. We can have fun no matter where we go. We always do. My point is that you want to hang out in Green Bay or Vegas. Like, if you can't see the differentiation between those two places, or Nashville, or even Miami, or LA, or somewhere, like, if you can't, like, I'm sorry, man. The draft in Green Bay, where's everybody going to stay? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sleeping bags in the middle of Lambeau Field.
It's so stupid. Like, it's so stupid. It needs to be in a big city. It needs to be in a party town. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. But watch Green Bay set the record, because like you just said, there's really not a whole lot else to do in Green Bay. So everyone's going to be at the draft because there's nothing else going on where we're in Vegas.
Yeah, but
I think that's why Detroit broke the record, because what the hell else was there to do for those few days?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so I wonder if Nashville and Vegas, frankly, I bet that number was way higher than what they reported. But a lot of people were just hanging out at honky tonks or the bars, or a lot of people were in the casinos like you and I were. We missed the start of the draft because we were hot on a freaking crap table.
That's 100%
or whatever,
true.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So, like, so places like that where there's other fun shit to do, I bet you take that number and add a few 100,000, and that's really what the number was.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
No, I think so too.
Because you were at the Nashville draft.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Nashville and Vegas both. There's so much to do outside of that.
Right.
I mean, what? Also, how do they even calculate? Like, how do they do that?
I mean, we
That
had to walk through
always
those
amazes
gates or
me.
whatever. It's not ticketed, but we had to walk through those gates or whatever. I don't know, man.
I don't remember that.
I don't know, but the damn thing needs to be in Nashville or Vegas, man. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick to that forever.
Yeah.
And that's
Deal.
no shot at Green Bay fans or whatever. You guys are...
I mean, I love cheese, but how much cheese can you eat? You know?
Oh, don't challenge me. My ass eat a lot of cheese.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, you
right
can't.
now,
Not till next week.
Yeah, not till next week.
All right, Jeff, hit a break.
And then I'm going to Green Bay.
And then, all right, there we go. Here it is.
That's the one thing you could do in Green Bay. It's watch the draft or eat a wheel. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, Raider Nation, this is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murf, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Will Compton. You're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with my boys Murf, Swaggy Jeff, and Uncle Mosh. Tune in because they put out a banger podcast.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about the Raiders. And so, of course, we're going to kick off the conversation by talking about the draft. And Michelle, you know, there's only one way to start off this segment.
Like Brock for Brock, the conqueror himself, Brock. Brock. You want to see your husband fight Brock? You got it. It's on. You can't beat Brock. Best friend in the world, Brock. I got 2 words for you.
This is my favorite.
Brock.
All right, there we go. So the Raiders kick off the 2024 draft by unexpectedly drafting Brock Bowers. And Michelle, we've done, we did our little rundown after the draft, after the first round pick. We did our little round 2 primer. We all had our social media reactions and everything. As suspected, as I mentioned on the rundown, I feel a lot different about Brock Bowers now that the draft is over and now we have a completed picture versus when it very first happened. Because when it very first happened, there was a lot of shock in the air. And it wasn't just me. And it wasn't just fans. You got journalists like Mo Moten that were like, what? Like, who are they? You know? So we mentioned that the Raiders are the first team in 20 years to draft a tight end in back-to-back first and second rounds since the Raiders did it with Teo Johnson and Doug Jolly 20 years ago. So it's not like it's a common practice. So I think that's what caught everybody off guard. But now that we've seen the rest of it play out, and now that we see what this offense could look like, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I've got some comparisons. So as we run down our draft picks, I've got player comps that I'm going to throw out at you guys in the chat room, and I want to hear what you guys think. So to me, and I know that it's not a name that we typically like to bring up around here or anywhere else because of the, you know, atrocities that occurred, but he reminds me of Aaron Hernandez.
Oh.
When you watch tape on Aaron Hernandez's rookie year, that's kind of what Brock Bowers looks like when he was in college, and that he can line up anywhere. He's you know, multiple positions, tight end, wide receiver, can split out. This is going to be our version of Gronk and Hernandez. And that said, being that Gardner Minshew thrives so well, and you're going to hear this term a lot, Raider Nation. You're going to hear 12 personnel. And you hear about like personnel groupings all the time. 12 personnel is 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. So you're talking about Zeus White back there. You're talking about Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Devontae Adams, and Jacoby Myers. Those are your eligible receivers and pass catch, right? That is where Minshew thrives. Minshew in 12 personnel has a 66 completion percentage, has thrown 8 touchdowns in his career to only 2 interceptions. Any other personnel grouping, Gardner Minshew is 61% in completion percentage, 10 interceptions, 10 touchdowns. So mid, as the kids say, and they do say that, Michelle.
They do say that.
That's pretty mid, but when he's in 12 personnel, he thrives. I'm not saying that they built this draft around Gardner Minshew, but there are a lot of puzzle pieces that have fit together. And now when it first happened, I'm like, that wasn't a puzzle piece. Now I'm starting to see how it's all going to work together. Go figure, the guys that get paid to do this for a living are the ones that have a better vision than us knucklehead fans sitting in our living rooms. Bonus room in this case. But so I love this idea of what they did with Brock Bowers. I'm going to kick off the conversation by playing you a clip from Jason Fitz. And we're going to go straight to you after this clip, Jeff. I want your reaction. So this is Jason Fitz, broadcaster, sports host, and Raider fan. And I love it. It really, sometimes when you hear someone else's opinion or like input, not that we need to always form ourselves off of others' thoughts, but sometimes people articulate things in a way that like it didn't quite register. Like when you guys articulated to me when we did the rundown, I felt better about it after talking to you guys. I was like, okay, I'm starting to see some different, have a different take on it. And then when I heard Jason Fitz's comments, that was it. I was like, oh, okay, there it is. I'm done. I'm 100% in. No more sad sack Murph. So I'm going to play Fitz's comments and then let's go to you, Jeff.
I have spent years with the camera in my face when the Raiders make a pick, embarrassed that they picked somebody that nobody's ever heard of or didn't belong there. I refuse to, after spending years doing that, apologize for a single second about clearly the best player available being drafted by my favorite football team. Brock Bowers, I don't care about need right now. The Raiders are not competing with the Chiefs today. The Raiders are trying to figure out how to compete to get towards the playoffs while also building a roster. And I think you got a real identity of who Vegas is right now. Like Tom Telesco went into this draft and said, we are going to build the roster with best player available. Brock Bowers in this offense with Michael Mayer at tight end, Michael Mayer at tight end, is going to give you a ton of opportunity with 2 tight end sets. If you can't get to the quarterback that you want, give the quarterbacks you have better weapons.
Come on.
I love that, man. A few things there. I wanted to touch on what you said right before you played that clip where you said,
Sure, touch on all of it. Your turn.
I'm
draft, go.
I'm going to get touchy-feely all up in this
Touch it.
draft and with what you said and all that. Yeah, 100%. But what you said right there where you said the Raiders maybe didn't necessarily build the draft around Gardner Minshew, unless they did. When they realized that maybe Michael Penix wasn't going to be there, when he comes off the board, they go, okay, Gardner's going to be our guy. It's Minshew mania time here in Las Vegas, so let's get him weapons. Where does he thrive? That stat right there that you just did. 10 touchdowns to 2 interceptions or whatever that stat was that you just said, or 8-2 or whatever. That's where he thrives. So, okay, let's let our guy thrive. And then, not to say that Aiden O'Connell might not win the job but whoever it is, Devontae Adams, Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, and Zeus White, that's a pretty solid freaking 5 eligible receivers. You know what I mean?
It's pretty awesome.
So, yeah, it's pretty incredible. So, but I love what Fitz said right there, not being embarrassed of any pick, but especially...
That's the part that got me. I'm not going to be embarrassed by the Raiders taking the best position available.
Absolutely.
That's when I was like, you know what? He's freaking right.
Yeah.
When was the last time we took a superstar in the first round?
Exactly. What is there to be embarrassed about picking Brock Bowers? As a University of Tennessee football fan in the SEC, living here, I've watched Brock Bowers for the last 3 seasons absolutely obliterate the orange and white. Absolutely. Terrifying to play against that guy. The guy's got the speed. The guy can, like you said, he can line up anywhere as wide receiver, obviously.
And so can Mayer.
And all that stuff. And Brock Bowers also had 19 rushes for 195 yards and 5 touchdowns. So the dude is a burner as well. So, so I love that you brought up that this feels very reminiscent of Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. But the way that he plays reminds me a lot of George Kittle. One of the best tight ends in the National Football League. So I think that this
he's the
right
blocker
here,
that Kittle is?
I think he's the block. Yes.
No, he's not.
Oh, well, no, because I think he can block.
I think Kittle's a better blocker. I think Bowers is a better pass catcher. I think he's more dynamic in the open field. And that's the thing is that like Kittle's, he's almost Gronk-like. Like he can get open, but he's running through people and he's very, where Brock is freaking stopping on a dime and freaking juking dudes and shit like Aaron Hernandez. That's where,
100%, 100%. But I think if there was ever a time at pick 13 when they saw Brock Bowers fall to them at 13, their first thought is, okay, that's our answer to Kelsey.
I think so too, man. What I mean? Well, and I brought it up on the show. I'm like, because when I was still in my shock factor, I'm like, where have all of you with your 900 mock drafts, any of you had Brock Bowers on the board? And the consensus response I got was he wasn't there because we didn't pick him because he was already taken.
He was going to the Chargers,
right?
Or something
and so I think that's a fair point. Is that it was an unexpected drop there, Michelle? Yeah. And so I think that's a fair point. But even that said. This is why mock drafts, I'm sorry, guys. And this is not me throwing shade, as the kids would say, towards anything that you guys choose to do with your creativity and your way you express your fandom, whatever. But your fantasy football team, your mock drafts, like all that, it's like draft grades. Like, they're silly. They're silly. Like, I'll see me in 3 or 4 years and then tell me what your draft grade is. And you know what I mean? And show me where your mock draft had any of this happening, because this is the point that I'll die on, is that the draft never goes like everybody expects it to go. There's always somebody to do something stupid. And in this case, it's the freaking Falcons taking our quarterback. But anyways, I digress. What do you think about the Brock Bowers move, which I already kind of know, but now that the draft's completed, where's your mind go, Michelle?
So, and it's kind of similar to what you said, Swag. After hearing Telesco in his press conference after the draft, and he talked about how they didn't really, once the quarterbacks were gone that they had been looking at were gone, then we weren't going to do anything stupid to try to get somebody that we didn't think was any better than the two that we have in-house right now. So I think that's when they pivoted. And I watched Brock Bowers, it's like a 10-minute highlight video. I saw it on YouTube, and and of course we watch him a lot too, because SEC, Lamont, we're here in the South. So,
yep.
And so I saw a lot of him anyway, and what a smart 2 tight end set. That's probably like one of my favorite. I just love that idea, and to know that we have 2 incredible, that is going to set up Minshew or O'Connell. We don't know who's going to win that job, but whoever wins the job, it is going to set them up for success, having that best player available. I loved it, but I loved it even more after the draft, after they filled other holes, after Telesco kind of explained their, where they were. Then, how can you not think, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to hit you back with something there else too, Michelle, that you kind of touched on. I know we're in our draft mode here, but I think there's something important that's come up on social media and whatnot is, regardless of who wins the job for the Raiders at quarterback, doesn't vilify one or the other. And this whole idea of, well, if you're all about Gardner Minshew, then you don't like Aiden O'Connell, or if you rooting for Aiden O'Connell, then you don't like Minshew. Y'all, we like them both. Mm-hmm. Stop it with that. It's not, we aren't Sith. We don't deal in absolutes, Michelle.
Yeah. Listen, we want whoever is the best at that position to get that position. Yes. And that's obviously what the Raiders want. And that's what they're going to figure out over the course of the next few months or whatever. But just because I love Gardner Minshew and his whole vibe and his scrappiness as a quarterback doesn't mean that I don't also love what Aiden O'Connell brings to the table. So I just want to see whoever is the best player at the position get the position.
Which in the NFL is the ultimate meritocracy, Jeff. That's how this shit works, man.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
That has nothing to do with liking a guy or disliking a guy.
Nope. It's just win, baby. It's just win, baby. I don't care who our quarterback is, and if neither one of those work out, we got our ace in our back pocket right there that can take off the gold or white jacket and see TB12 walk down to Allegiant Stadium. Because I'm telling you, man, I've seen a lot of that stuff. People on the X, the X can be a crazy place, and people have been talking about it. You never know.
Yeah, well, sure.
You never.
But
know.
I don't
imagine that it's going to happen, and I really. I'm telling.
That's some fan shit, dude.
There's
no way
fiction.
No way the NFL allows a part owner to suit up.
I don't imagine that either. But I will say that I've got a really, really, really good feeling about Gardner Minshew. I do too. I feel really
the energy
good
is
about
strong.
It,
yeah.
Yeah. We haven't seen a quarterback like this since maybe Snake. As far as personality wise and stuff like that,
just raw personality. I don't know. Gannon was a hell of a personality.
Gannon.
But he wasn't like a party guy like Kenny was.
Well, maybe I guess that's what I'm saying. When I think
Minshew's
Raider quarterback, when I think Raider quarterback, I think Snake. And so yeah.
Yeah, in that case, he is definitely way more Kenny.
Some areolas and what are you going to do? What's better than that?
What's better than that? So good.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so before we wrap it up on Brock Bowers, do I have? Oh, yeah, here we go. I've got Maurice Jones-Drew for you, talking about the pick of Brock Bowers and what he can bring to the Raiders on NFL Network.
Yeah, Brock Bowers. I got a chance to coach Brock Bowers for KT Prep 7-on-7 organization. He was an 8th grader going against juniors and seniors and killing kids. And I told my boy Nathan King, who I went to high school, I said, we found something special. Now, he only played his freshman and sophomore year, but that's all you needed. He was the most dominant player on the circuit. And this is the thing. When he got to Georgia, he was okay. He was more of a defensive end, but watch him catch the ball and just run. His natural ability. This was my favorite play. Ran through, is that Bama? Ran through 3 or 4 guys and took it to the house. That's his freshman year. The ability to run routes. I mean, he can do everything. Again, watch the adjustment to make. I saw this firsthand multiple times by this young guy here. Again, so happy for him. And he's an inline blocker. Again, look, fade. We talked about the fade ball.
Fade ball.
He can do it.
Especially to this guy.
Yeah, tight end. He can be a tight end, big slot guy. He can do everything. He can block. He can run the ball. You can put him at running back. He can do a lot of stuff for you. Excited for him.
All right. So here's the last thing I want to say on Bowers. The versatility that the guy has, I think there's a theme starting to run through these Raiders. They can do multiple things. When we get to the rest of these draft picks, they can play multiple positions at any given time. And don't you think so, Jeff? Like that's kind of seems to be like what one of the identities that's starting to form around the Raiders.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, that's why I think they liked guys like, we'll keep it to the offensive line. That's why they liked a guy like Jermaine Illuminor. And yeah, unfortunately, he moved on and went and did something different. But they like guys that can just jump in and go, where do you need me, coach? Where do you need me? I'll line up or whatever. You want, and because those kind of guys are team mentality guys. It all goes back to the culture, man. When you got a guy that goes, no, I only do this and I only do that. No, they don't want that shit, man. They want to go, where can I help the team win? And Brock's one of those guys. He'll play and catch the ball or run the ball or do whatever to score touchdowns.
Absolutely. All right, so let's check in with GM Tom Telesco, Michelle. He completely reinforces the conversation you and I are having around that. I'm telling you, and we don't love the name, but it's Gronk and Hernandez all over again, and we're going to see a ton of this, and I love the way that he calls this out.
The player like Brock, just where the scouting staff, where they had him, what they thought about him, what the coaching staff thought, he was really pretty a consensus guy. Makes it a little bit easier, fully knowing that, we have Michael Mayer, who's an excellent tight end, but, there's no rule in the NFL that you can only play one. We can play 2 tight ends. We can move people around. At Notre Dame, Michael was split out sometimes as a receiver. Brock has been split out as a receiver. Brock has even played some running backs, some end arounds. And then our receivers can go inside and outside. So be a nice little group to work with.
All right, I've got a bold prediction.
Go for it.
Ready, Michelle? I've got a bold prediction. I think Brock Bowers isn't going to lead our team in receiving, but I think he's top 3 as a rookie. And probably because he's got the run after the catch, you know what I mean? Or yards after catch, he's got that ability. He might be right behind Devontae.
Yeah, I think he is going to be like the go-to guy because of his ability to, run through people. So I wrote down a few, trying to learn a little.
Yeah, no.
So I wrote down, so he had 175 catches for 2,538 yards. And 1,210 of those were after the catch.
No shit.
Strong. Even I was talking about that highlight tape that I was looking, he's just carrying people. I think he's going to be the workhorse. I think he's going to be the one that, I won't say, I say second in line after Devontae. Is that what you said?
Yeah. In terms of yardage and productivity and all that.
Yeah.
100%. Well, I feel like every offseason I make this, a goofy prediction of who I think is going to be, the one that'll benefit from all these things. But you see a guy like Brock Bowers, he's going to call for a lot of attention. Even like you said, as a rookie, you're going to see him.
If you single him or Devontae, you can't double them both.
Well,
otherwise Jacoby Myers is going to burn you for.
And I think Brock Bowers will probably have a 3-to-1 ratio of targets over Michael Mayer. I think Brock is going to be the guy, but I think the guys that are going to benefit so much from this are Cobes and Devontae. Because you're going to, and especially
Cobes is going to go.
Cobes is going to have a freaking monster ass year.
You know what's funny? I'm going to interrupt you, but to give you flowers. To give you flowers, because when the Raiders brought in Devontae, I'll never forget. You said, you know who's going to benefit most from this?
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. And Josh Jacobs led the freaking league in rushing after Jeff said that, because he said that all the attention is now going to go to Devontae downfield and Hunter Renfrow. But boom, you nailed it. And it's this very similar thing.
Be the same
so I wonder
thing.
if I want to back up my comment and think maybe Jacoby Myers is the one that goes ape shit in this offense now, because everybody's doubling Devontae and Brock.
Either one of them, and okay, how about somebody double team Bowers and leave Tay one-on-one.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm telling you, this offense is deathly scary. Like,
sick.
I mean, and then you add some of these other pieces that we're going to get to later, like the playmaker in the 6th round or whatever that we snagged, or 5th round or whatever, that I can't wait to talk about him.
Yeah, no, we're going to get there.
But yeah, but like, I mean, holy shit, man. Like, this is going to be incredible.
Well, we heard Minshew say that, like, if I see a one-on-one with Devontae, I'm throwing to him. Of course, he said it more like, I'm throwing to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's the thing. He told Max Crosby that.
Yeah.
He's like, if I see Devontae singled up, that's where the ball's going.
That's what every quarterback on earth should do.
100%. 100%. So, yeah, no, I'm with you, man. It's added a completely, just an amazing dynamic to this offense. And God forbid we have an offense that's ranked in the top 15 to go along with our top 10 defense. Y'all don't sleep on the freaking Raiders this year. I'm going to make my bet on the Raiders win total. I think Vegas right now is sitting at 6.5 or 7 again, like they always do.
Disrespect.
We beat it this last year. We lost it the year before, unfortunately. But we're going to smoke that this year. We're going to, so I'm going to get my damn Raider feelings. Every year it happens. But if we don't make the playoffs, come on. You know what I mean? Like, we were a freaking 8-win team last year with a bum at quarterback for a long time and a bum at head coach for 8 games. You can't tell me that you take the existing roster, add the pieces that we've already added, and like this freaking, I'm telling you, this thing is going to take off this year. We're at least 3 to 4 wins better, which is a playoff spot.
Yes.
God forbid they win a playoff game. And for those of you that are out there that are like, oh, the Raiders have just kicked the can down the road, now they got to go draft a quarterback next year. Well, bullshit. If the Raiders win 12 games with Guard Dog or Captain Mustache, one or the other. Well, they're both Captain Mustache, but you know what I'm saying.
Or Favre.
If they win 12 games with either one of those guys, guess what? We ain't drafting a goddamn quarterback next year. It ain't going to happen.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And so this window for this football team, I think we're entering in to the 4-year window. I think we're entering into that 4-year window of winning. And
come on,
if
dude.
that's my silver and black heart pumping silver and black blood. Well, that maybe.
Bud, maybe.
But blood through my body. If that's the case, then I'll own it, man. I'll own it being a homer for this football team every time. Talk about put your name on it. I'm putting my damn name on it. The Raiders, for the first time, I don't feel like I have to manufacture optimism that this is a playoff team. The evidence is there. It's evident in Antonio Pierce. It's evident in Tom Telesco. It's evident in our quarterback. It's evident in goddamn Max Crosby and spades. It's evident Devontae Adams, which we're going to get to him on Max's podcast later. It's so evident through these guys and through the rookies that we have drafted. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm fired the frick up, man. This season is going to be badass. We're going to shock the freaking world, man. I'm telling you, we're going to challenge the damn Chiefs. We know we can beat their ass in Arrowhead. Let's watch us go out there and beat their ass at home. Let's take care of business at Allegiant Stadium. Send all them inbred idiots in red home and like freaking unhappy because they lost their money at the tables and watch their team get the shit kicked out of them on our stadium. I'm telling you, man, this freaking Raider team is going to finally turn this shit around, Jeff.
Absolutely, man. Well, you think of all the pieces that we added. Let's just add one to that team last year. I think if Gardner Minshew is our quarterback from start to finish, we're in the playoffs. The end. I think we're in the playoffs. We keep also, not that anyone's really forgot, but it was kind of the first day of free agency. Oh yeah, we've got Christian Wilkins in the mix.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh,
come on, dude.
Yes.
So the same thing that we've just been talking about on the offense of double one of them, someone else is going to be wide open. We've got those pieces on offense now, which I feel like it's been forever and ever and ever and ever and ever since we've been able to say that. But now we've got that on defense too, on the defensive line. Okay, you want to double Max? Okay, let Christian come up the middle. Are you brave enough to leave Max one-on-one? Okay, he's gonna eat your lunch, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, man. Yeah, I think we really have entered into that. It's go time.
Doesn't it feel like it, Michelle?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is no way in hell that this won't be a better team than last year. It is so
it's
disrespectful.
An utter failure on all levels. If it is,
I don't give a shit about Harbaugh. I don't give a shit about.
Come on,
was it Bo Nix? Is he the one that went to the
the Broncos?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about any of that? Considering the way that the Raiders have placed players on this team, I don't give a shit about any of those variables. There's no way that we are not better than we were last season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So appreciate the chat room in there. Aaron Davidson says, and don't forget about our center, Jackson Powers Johnson. Well, you know what, Swag Jeff? Let's hit a break, and we're going to talk about that young man.
Hi, this is AJ Cole from the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Murf, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Just win, baby.
Hey, give it up for the last dive bar in there. Dropped a $9.99 donation in there in the chat. 100% of that money will go to Raiders-related charities, and we thank you. Our friends at Last Dive Bar. He says, now that's a damn good-looking man. Nice tee. And so, yeah, I'm wearing the Last Dive Bar, and, of course, we all got our bracelets on, and we are huge supporters of what you all are doing. And keep up the good work. Keep up that energy for A's fans. It's important what you're doing, and so we cannot thank you enough and appreciate you enough. And so all of us that are old-school Raider fans, man, and A's fans, of course, we just that energy around this show is called Raiders Fan Radio because we want to celebrate fans, and no one is doing it better, I would argue, than the folks at Last Dive Bar right now, and that's in all of fandom right now. Like, you guys are killing it. Keep up the great work. We love what you're doing and appreciate you very, very much. All right, so here we go. Here's a segue for you. So speaking of green and gold. Hey, let's go to Oregon and talk about Jackson Powers Johnson. Here, Michelle was talking about earlier about JPJ and all the draft picks getting the call, and so holy
cow!
Shit!
Wow, much respect once again to the Last Dive Bar. This is charity, you say? Don't mind if we do. Raiders with a $100 donation.
Oh my gosh!
Wow, thank you
guys.
so much. Yeah, so if you tuned in, we have our own nonprofit, the One Nation Foundation, that gives to various Raider-related charities. Right there, the One Nation Foundation. So we give primarily to the Bolitnikoff Foundation. We give to Raider Dad. We give to the Max Crosby Foundation. All that stuff. So that $100 donation and now $110 donation that the great folks at the Last Dive Bar have given, it's all going to those causes. So thank you.
Thank you.
Can't thank you enough.
And one of the things that they do at Last Dive Bar, it's all about the community. It's all about the family and about how the legacy of A's fans in the Bay Area and otherwise as well. And that's what the charities that we support that are Raiders related, like the Bolitnikoffs, like Raider Dad. We're connecting young people with their parental figures and taking them to Raiders games and to tailgates and whatnot. And so, man, that is way freaking kind of you.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Last Dive Bar. We appreciate you, brothers. That is so freaking cool. All right, so let's get to Jackson Powers Johnson.
Yep, and Raider 27 with a $2 donation.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Well.
Thank you so much, Raider 27.
Very much. Yep,
thank
absolutely.
you. He says for the nation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so JPJ gets the call. Did I play that yet?
No.
Okay.
Play that shit.
Do I have that?
Play it.
I don't know. Do you have it?
I thought
either that or we just talk about them.
Just talk about it. Go, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love this.
Here it is.
Oh,
Jackson.
Your turn.
How we doing? Good. How you doing? Doing great. Good. Hey, we're on the clock right here. We're ready to select you, and we'll make you Las Vegas Raider. Thank you so much. You ready to go? Yes, sir. Is Justin Shulman there with you? Yeah, he's here. Awesome. Hey, I'm going to put you on the phone over here with our head coach, Antonio Pierce, all right?
What's going on, big dog?
How we doing, Coach?
Man, I don't know. You tell me. We ready?
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. Come on. About to come across that ticker, man.
Yeah, we'll do. Thank you so much.
Come on, man.
Coach.
Hey, let's get. Hey, I need these big boys up front grinding now. Bring that
I'm
mentality now.
you.
Bring that mentality. I know you'll whoop some ass. We'll see you here, man. Enjoy with your family. We'll talk to you in a second, all right?
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you.
Okay, man. Love.
Bye. Woo! Raiders.
Hey, so good. I love it. He just Raiders, and then the family goes nuts, man.
Yeah, they go berserk.
It's so good, and man, this guy. Talk about a road grader. And nasty. I told you I was going to give you player comps for each one of these positions. This is my Richie Incognito.
I
think that's he's a wide-bodied guy. When we met Richie Incognito, dude, it's crazy how wide dude is. He's this big. But he's just an absolute road grader. Has just talk about a dog and some nastiness. What was the dang word that was in his draft profile? Oh shoot, I'll think of it in a second. But it goes along with the whole like ill intent and all that kind of stuff. But there was a great description of him, not disdain for his opponent, but shoot, I'll find it. But anyways, I love the idea. Like, this is the mentality. This is what this guy is. What's funny about him is that you hear him talk, like he's like this nice kid. He's like all, you know what I mean? He's all kind and just kind of sounds like a young man. But when you get him on the field, you watch his Senior Bowl stuff and his highlights and what he had to do, Michelle. This guy's nasty.
Yeah, and the only things that I wrote about him, because that's literally it, but he has versatility.
It's the word I have.
Yeah, and a strong personality.
Yep.
And he's tough and he's aggressive all the way through the play. And I can't wait. Also, he has a hamburger named after him. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It is disdainful. That's the word.
Disdainful.
It says he plays with a rugged, disdainful attitude towards opponents.
Ooh.
Wow.
Come on.
Yeah, he's a Raider. He's meant
That's
to
some
be a
Raider
Raider.
shit right there.
He sure is. Absolutely, man. And, and so he played center, but they made sure to announce him as a guard. So I saw that they let Andre James know your job is safe. Mm-hmm. You're good. We've moved this guy to guard. But this guy, like you said, we drafted guys this entire draft that can play multiple positions. Where you need me, coach, I got you. What do you need me to do? I got you, AP. And so this guy can play on both sides, both guards and center. 6'3", 334, 714 pass blocking snaps at Oregon. You know how many sacks he allowed?
Oh, come on. Tell me now.
Zero. Zero.
Let's go.
One quarterback hit, 0 sacks, and 714 pass blocking snaps. This dude is the truth. It's honest. Frankly, it's shocking. Absurd, almost, I would say, that this guy slipped to 44.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
He was projected as a first rounder.
This guy's the truth.
Until the freaking Falcons did what the Falcons did, and then I swear, man, it avalanched the whole damn draft.
I hate Michael Penix. I hate that asshole. And I hate Bo Nix even more.
Oh, well,
you know what I mean.
Is but hold on, Carson Palmer.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
I got a sound bite that we're gonna talk about.
Okay,
that. We're gonna talk about that.
Good,
because I'm with you. All right, so let's. So JPJ gets the call.
Yep.
JPJ is now is he's going to be referenced at because everybody has initials in this chat. We got BB89, which is kind of funny. It's almost Star Warsy. For those of you that are nerdy enough to get that reference, BB89. Let's check in with JPJ after the call, and he's a Raider fan, and this is not manufactured Raiderdom here. Listen to what this kid has to say.
Hey Raider Nation, Jackson Powers Johnson here. Just got selected by you guys. So excited to get to work. So excited to be a Raider. And the autumn wind is a pirate. Love you guys. Shout out Raider Nation.
Come on.
Let's go, dude.
You're damn right.
Let's go, JPJ. Yeah. Holy shit, man.
That's
got to get you fired up. How does it not?
Those are deep cuts. For a kid.
That's a deep cut, yeah.
That's deep cuts for a kid to get that and to be able to say that. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, there's another big one.
Hey, Pineapple.
Pineapple.
Pineapple. Much respect to our friend Pineapple in the chat here on the YouTube. Says Chris Jones is on notice officially. Amen to that, brother. With a $50 donation to the One Nation Foundation. Holy cow.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Unbelievable.
I told you we could do an entire show based on your all's generosity. I mean, and the $150 there just right away, plus the other donations that have come in.
Yep.
But again, guys, even if
can I tag something
please,
right quick?
Talk about it, man.
Yeah. So Last Dive Bar and Pineapple, massive donations. This is before Summer of Swag where we're auctioning or raffling off all that stuff. Last Dive Bar and Pineapple. Hit me up. Swag at RaidersFanRadio.com. That is SWAG. Swag at RaidersFanRadio.com. Send me your address, your shirt size. I'd love to send you guys some swag.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't thank you guys enough, man. That's huge. We're shooting for. So we just gave Raider Dad. We gave him $3,000. You gave them $3,000. We're just a vessel here. we are looking to raise 20 grand for Biletnikoff this year.
Yep.
The very first year, I'll tell you a quick story. I just digressed for half a second. We're going to get back into JPJ. The very first year we decided we were going to give all the money away, we raised $2,000. The next year, we doubled it and went to $4,000. Then we went to $10,000. Last year, we donated $15,000 to the Biletnikoff Foundation. There was only one person that gave a larger donation than we did, and his name is Mark Davis.
Yeah.
Okay? And I say we, again, the collective we. This is all of us, and none of that stuff happens without the generosity of Raider Nation. And even if you can't contribute monetarily, and we love the monetary contributions, don't get me wrong, but even if you can't, hit a retweet, hit a like, hit a subscribe, help Raiders Fan Radio raise awareness, because it's not about building this show. It's about building our foundation that gives to Raiders-related charities and the amazing work that those folks are doing. So cannot thank you enough. You guys are the dang best, man. It's just like, it just still gets me. It still gets me. It still hits me in the feels, man, when we see that stuff come through. The kindness of Raider Nation. We love you guys. All right, so let's check in back with JPJ. This is at his pro day in Oregon. And so now this is long before the draft, but I got such a big kick. He's on with like Omar Ruiz from NFL Network. I got such a big kick out of his comments here at his pro day. And I'm like, this is what's bringing the Raider Nation. I'm like, I'm here for it.
Jackson Powers Johnson joining us now. Jackson, big body, big personality. What's the number one thing teams want to know about you off the field?
I mean, I'm a psycho on the field, but I'm a normal guy who's going to really help out the community wherever I go. I mean, I'm not a guy who really stays in the house quite a bit. Like, I like to explore wherever I'm at. So, while I was here in Oregon, doing hikes, going on drives, and, just really exploring Oregon. So wherever I'm going to go, just explore and really embed myself in the culture.
A lot of attention paid to you and your teammates here at your pro day. What was the impression you wanted to leave with the scouts today?
That I'm the best center in the class and, a guy that they can take in the first round and, just instilling confidence in everybody on what I can do and also just going to having fun. It's kind of my last time here at Oregon getting to showcase something. So, leaving it all on the field here and, showing my gratitude to Oregon. So.
As far as being the best center in the class, if you're the first interior lineman taken in the NFL draft, what would that mean to you?
I mean, everything to me. I mean, just immense gratitude to the people who got me here. And I think it's the biggest thing. Like, I don't really care what it looks like on me, but, my mom, my dad, all the people that helped me get to this point, I feel like it mean a lot to them too. So just kind of, getting that for them and, kind of living that moment would be awesome.
All right, there he is, Jackson Powers Johnson. I love it. He's like, yeah, I'm a psycho out here. It kind of reminded me of like what Minshew, when he was like, yeah, I'm a little out here, but not all the time. It's like, yeah, so I'm a psycho out here, Michelle, on the practice field or his pro day anyways. But but he just sounds like such a nice kid, doesn't he?
Yeah, to hear him say I'm a psycho on the field and then to immediately, for however, there's like a minute's worth of just... He sounds like a baby, like just a precious little guy. Yeah. And I can't wait to see him take somebody's head off, like, just because.
Just because, yeah.
But isn't that Raider shit?
That's Raider shit.
Isn't that Raider shit that you play with the ill intent, the physicality, the violence, and the pain, on Sundays in between the two in between the two sidelines? But then you're just a good person.
And you do good
love
things
your
in the
family,
community.
you do good things for the community, you do all those things, but I'm going to whip your ass for 3 hours on Sunday.
Absolutely. Well, and we've said it numerous times on this show, and I'll say it again for those of you that are new to the program. Raider Nation, we are the villains of the NFL. Al Davis crafted this organization to be bad guys. He wanted you to be afraid when you were a visiting fan to the stadium, when you were a visiting opponent. He wanted you to be intimidated from the time your bus rolled into the frickin' parking lot. That's what Raider Nation thrives on. That said, you can be a badass and you can be tough and you don't have to be a dick. You know what I mean?
It's a big difference.
And it's a huge difference. Like, you can be kind to people. And this is what Raider Nation does so well, is by uplifting our communities and Raider Nation truly is family. If you're not part of the family and you got something ill to say, well, then we might have a response for you. But and I'm not advocating violence by any means, but you know what I'm saying though, is that like, you can do all that and still be nice. And I think that this kid, here he is, I don't even know how old he is, 22 years old probably or something like that. Yeah. Like, he completely exemplifies that idea that when you're on the football field, it's game on. I am a psycho. I'm going to tear your head off. I'm going to run through you. When you see some of his downfield blocking and some of his pulls and shit like that, like, dude is nasty. But then like Michelle said, but then he sounds like freaking, he could be one of my kids. When I talk, he's just like, like, oh yeah, like I like to go travel around and see sights and go hiking.
Yeah,
and like,
thanks to my mom and dad and my teachers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, 100%.
It's awesome, man. I love
that.
this guy.
I love that. I'm all about the psychos, though, man. Because, and I love that you tagged that Al Davis. He wanted opposing fans, opposing teams to be scared when they stepped foot in the Raiders' home stadium. And building this team, man, I'm starting to feel like we're going to get back to that. Obviously Las Vegas is going to be a place where there's always going to be away fans, and there's nothing we can do about that because it's Las Vegas, one of the greatest places ever.
Yes, we can do something about it. We need to start kicking the shit out of people. Well, the stands on the field. We need to start kicking the shit out of people that come and play.
Yes,
but that's
what I'm saying. We're getting back to that.
Yeah,
we're getting back to that.
Yeah, once we freaking start running off a bunch of wins, guess what? You know what I mean? And you're right. There's going to be a component because what else are you going to do in Minnesota? So when it's cold outside, so instead you're going to go to freaking Vegas and go catch
fly to the desert.
You're going to go out there and catch some shows, do some gambling, and you get to see the Vikings play on the weekend. I get that. That's going to always be a component. But if the Raiders are beating the ever-loving shit out of teams year in, year out, guess what? All of a sudden, the interest in the Raiders goes up. Season ticket holders aren't selling their tickets, and there's none available for Minnesota guy to come see the Vikings. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So that's,
100%. Yeah, that was my point there.
All right.
But I'm glad we finally got
Is there anything else you'd like me to say for you, Jeff?
No, I'd just like to talk about, were we still talking about DJ Glaze?
No,
well,
we're about to.
We're getting ready to talk to DJ Glaze, and so so here we go. We got Tom Telesco talking about the draft pick of JPJ, but then transitioning into the drafting of DJ Glaze, tackle out of Maryland, of course. And I'm going to give you a good comp on him after we hear Tom Telesco's comments.
It's Friday night. We'll make this quick and painless. All right.
Tom, I was curious your evaluation on Jackson Powers Johnson and where you feel like he's going to fit in on your offense.
Yeah, we see him fitting in at guard. He's played guard, he's played center, but we see him as a guard for us. Another young kid, 21 years old, so still a lot of growth in his game.
21.
But he's big, he's tough, he plays a Raider style of football, but he's also a pretty good athlete to go along
I have a 21-year-old son.
Same.
Love his versatility.
Well,
love his
about to
energy
be.
and enthusiasm as a player, and get him in the mix.
Basically, the same question for DJ Glaze about where he fits in.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of the same answers. Another young guy, 21 years old, but a lot of versatility. We see him as a tackle right now. He's played both left and right.
Yeah.
Probably see him more on the right side of tackle right now. He's got some, possible guard in the future maybe, but the flexibility is really nice for all these guys. I know typically, you're dressing 8 offensive linemen. The more they can do, the better, because we know there's going to be injuries during the year. So, but no, we see him more as a right tackle. Big frame, long arms, really productive college player. I mean, he blocked the guy in front of him very consistently. Keep it real general, real easy. Guy over him, run game, pass game, blocked his man. So, balanced body control, some strength, and again, we think there's a lot of future upside with him too.
All right, so here's what I like about DJ Glaze. I love the versatility, and so here's my comp, and this name probably won't jump out at people, but Chris Clark. You guys know who Chris Clark is? Chris Clark was the offensive tackle for the Broncos when they got Peyton Manning.
Okay.
He was there for like a year or two, and then Pepe came in, and then you know what happened. They won a Super Bowl and everything. So he was there, a tackle for them in 2010 to 2014, and he was able to play both sides. He was a swing tackle, right? So I think that's the comp there. This guy's raw, but a lot of these guys, the upside of a lot of these players, not only does it fill a need, but there's a ton of upside. And you listen, you can't teach physicality. You can't teach size. You can't teach length. You can't teach that kind of stuff. And that's something that I think that DJ Glaze definitely has. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him for sure. All right, next up, we've got in the draft, we've got, I always struggle with his name, DeCamerion Richardson.
Yep.
Okay, am I saying that right? Cornerback out of Mississippi State. Here's your comp on this one. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Lanky, fast
as shit.
Has catch-up speed. So if he makes a mistake, Jeff, I think that he's a guy. Now, he's raw too, but I like the idea that we're drafting absolutely athletic, you know what I mean, dudes on this. And because I think that like you can teach them, like he's a little handsy, like they say about cornerbacks. You need to play more with your feet than your hands. So he's a little bit handsy, but so was freaking Ja'Cory Bennett last year.
Sure.
And cornerbacks take, those developmental guys will take a year or two to really come into their own. Rogers Camardi wasn't killing it his rookie year, but he evolved into a hell of a cornerback. So that's where I think we can see a little DRC in Richardson.
Yeah, well, as soon as I saw this pick come across, I was like, oh, that's a Raider pick. I grabbed one of the fastest corners in this entire thing. That was unbelievable. And he was actually rated in this draft class as the most athletic corner in the entire draft. So, okay, deal.
He's just unpolished.
But you bring Antonio Pearson in the mix with that? Okay.
And Patrick Graham, they'll coach him up.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, having players that are malleable, like that you see that they're fast and they have the skills, they just need to be honed. And if you have the right team around them and leadership around them, that will be honed. So yeah, the speed, I that's probably one of my favorite positions is cornerback. So I'm excited to see.
Oh yeah, your favorite player is Charles Woodson for crying out loud.
Yeah, right.
All right. So, did you have anything on DJ Glaze?
I actually did. So he has a 7-foot wingspan, which I thought was impressive. But he started 17 games at right tackle and 15 at left tackle, and he also couldn't play guard, which that's that flexibility that he has.
Absolutely.
So I think the way they picked players just really impressed me.
Absolutely.
It's like they thought about it. Like, not that previous drafts didn't, but this just felt very thought out. And I really appreciate that.
I made a note on my show notes here. It was just one note, and it was said there was an adult in the room.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this feels like. There was so many overreaches and so many I'm not telling Raider Nation anything new, but when it came to Gruden, and I don't think it was Mayock, I think it was Gruden, overreached on so many picks because that's my guy, man. That's my guy, and I can coach him up, and that's arrogance. Same thing with Josh McDaniels.
Yep.
It was arrogance. I feel like this is the first time we've got an adult in the room and actually doing the right thing for longevity. Like that's one thing. It's not going for the moment. And it's not all about, you got to fit my scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Bowers was not about fitting a scheme.
They'll fit in any damn scheme you want him to.
Any scheme you want to, but it wasn't like, well, I got to have this or I got to have that. And so we've got to jettison these players and acquire these players and make all these moves. No, they're building. This is the first time in, forever. We are just assembling the most talent.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's the theme in this draft. And that's where on the back end of it now, looking back, I can think positively about it because we're just adding talent. Listen, who's the most talented folks that we could acquire? Who is the most talented freaking free agent quarterback they could acquire? Because it wasn't going to be Kirk Cousins because they weren't going to pay him $180 million. It was Gardner Minshew. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of the cap numbers or cap spending, here's another reason why I'm saying there's an adult in the room. According to Over the Cap, the Raiders have about $18.6 million in effective cap space, which factors in rookie deals. They'll get another $24 million in space when Jimmy Garoppolo's cap hit comes off the books June 2nd.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
You think we're done?
Yeah.
Nope.
You think this team is done?
Not a chance.
Hell no. Insert Stephon Gilmore or what?
Xavier Howard.
Exactly.
Get him on the phone.
Yeah, and have those guys mentor Ja'Cory Bennett and DeCamerion Richardson. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Raiders. I'm telling you, for the first time in a very long time, this team is very responsible the way it's going. All right. We've got a couple more here.
I love this part of the draft, by the way. These are some of my favorite picks.
You know what? Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. This one is not, I like it. It's fine.
I love it.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you talk on it. Tommy Eichenberg, linebacker out of Ohio State. Of course, no disputing Ohio State's success. Obviously, the guy's going to play the run. He's a very downhill guy. The knock against him is that he can't cover. Well, guess what the knock against Bob Spillane was when he became a Raider? He can't cover. Well, guess what? His head coach is a freaking pretty badass pass covering linebacker. They're going to be fine.
Yep.
So to go no further than outside the building, my comp for him, Bob Spillane. Did you have it too?
That's what I have. Yep, 100%.
That's my guy.
He said, and I said Spillane maybe even a little better. You know what I mean? So, but he was the butt kiss winner. He's the Big Ten linebacker of the year in 2023. I work with a guy that's a massive Ohio State fan. He said he was the stalwart of the defense, just the anchor on the defense.
Oh, a leader? Go figure.
Yeah, go figure, right? So I'm fired up about this guy. I think, and his big thing, like you said, the run stopping, all that kind of stuff. So deal. Sign me up for that. Spillane, how old is Spillane? 30?
Yeah, and he's in the last year of his contract. So regardless of age, he probably ain't going to be around.
Yeah, maybe not. But okay, but you bring in a guy that looks just like him.
No, I mean, but it's kind of the same thing, just especially with Antonio Pierce being the coach, like knowing what he knows, he's going to be Spillane 2.0. Like he's going to bring him in and really just turn him into a machine.
Could end up being an anchor of our freaking defense for a while. Yeah. And a leader. And that's the thing that, again, is that common theme, is that the leadership that all these young men have exuded, with Antonio Pierce's freaking influence, man. That's where it all starts. All right, next up, we've got Dylan Lobby.
Yeah.
Running back out of New Hampshire, who no one has seen this guy play because he played in New Hampshire.
Yep.
But when you go back and you watch a little bit of the tape on him, and we're not tape folks at all, or at least I'm not, but I'd always go back and watch highlights because now we know what the Raiders that are.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the Raiders that aren't. We talk about the Raiders that are. And now we know the Raiders that are, so I'm all about it. And so I'm diving into it. So here's my comp for this one, Danny Woodhead.
There you go.
I think he's very much a Danny Woodhead. He can carry the ball out of the backfield, but his biggest threat out of the backfield is catching the football.
Yep.
And we've lost that dynamic with Josh Jacobs. So now we've brought somebody in to complement. Amir Abdullah is pretty good too out of the backfield catching the football. But this guy, Dylan Lobby, you can even split him out. You can even put him in motion and put him in the slot and do just like Danny Woodhead used to do for the Patriots and Chargers and the Jets too. But yeah, I think he's very much a Danny Woodhead type style.
Yeah,
guy.
absolutely. He reminds me of Christian McCaffrey. Now, I'm not saying he's the same caliber as Christian McCaffrey because Christian McCaffrey's different, but he's shifty. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, like you said. Like, he's gritty. He's quick as hell. Like, I just,
Paul said that in the chat room, Christian McCaffrey light. Yes, I think that's a fair comp too. Yeah,
100%. 100%.
Yeah, well, beside all the things that you all said, he had 4 career return touchdowns, so his special teams contribution
there you go.
Be really,
call.
really
good. And that's how you make teams.
And that's how you make the team.
That's how you make the teams.
Got to make them on teams.
You got to make it on teams, man. Special teams, special plays, special players. But yeah, But
how long did you rehearse that one?
Not but 2 seconds. I'm just really good at this shit.
Just really good.
But hey,
and humble as hell too.
But it's so funny that we talked about it. Did we talk about it during the rundown or maybe last week's show or whatever? Al Davis was so good at finding elite talent at small ass schools.
Texas A&I, anybody?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Howie Long out of Villanova.
North Texas State.
100%, man. So now you got a guy, Dylan Lobby, out of freaking New Hampshire. I was watching highlights, but it looked like high school football highlights because it's just like the local New Hampshire news that's
like all
carrying the
grainy
game.
and stuff. That's like an 8mm.
Yeah. Someone recorded it off of an iPhone, and that's how they were broadcasting it.
Oh shit! No, that's just a BlackBerry, dude.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, it'd be an Android or something like that.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
That's where I've crossed the line.
That's where you've crossed the line.
That's where I've crossed
Cut
the
his
line.
mic. That's enough.
Absolutely. But now moving on, I think it may be unanimous in the room. This is my favorite pick of the entire thing.
It's so cool. Yeah. I mean, at
Brock Bowers and then this guy, I think is my favorite pick.
Emotionally, like this is my favorite one.
Emotionally.
It's a little more than emotion for me.
Oh, that's nice for you.
It is.
If you like him so much, why don't you marry him?
Marry him.
All right, let's hear Trey Taylor, safety out of Air Force. Get the call.
Trey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, sir?
Good. Good. Hey, we're going to select you right here.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You ready to go?
Oh, I'm so ready to go.
Congratulations,
I'm so
you're a
ready
Raider.
to go.
We're going to start the pick in here in a couple minutes, all right?
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to getting to work with you.
Awesome. Hey, I'm going to put you on the phone with their head coach, Antonio Pierce, all right?
All right,
hold on.
Trey. Yeah. What's going
Small
on, Coach?
world, ain't it?
Hey, too small.
Full circle, man.
Man.
Circle.
Man, thank you for picking me up. This is a great pick. We're going to go to work, man. Come on. Bring that juice when you get here. Tell the family I say hello and enjoy it, all right?
Yeah, I will. I'll tell everybody say what's up.
Okay, enjoy it. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
More Las Vegas.
So cool.
Oh, I love those so much.
Oh my gosh, man. It's so freaking good, man. It's so freaking good. So, all right. So Air Force safety Trey Taylor is eligible to play in 2024 and doesn't want to wait long before other service academy members can join him. In 2022, a federal rule that allowed athletes from academies to turn pro immediately was changed to require them to fulfill 2 years of 5-year military commitment before they could do so. But players enrolled before 2019 or earlier were not required under the new rule. So Taylor, who arrived at Air Force in 2019 and won the 2023 Jim Thorpe Award, which we're going to get to that in a second, as the nation's top defensive back, will go to the the NFL draft, knowing that he's eligible. So he says this: I got grandfathered in, but at the same time, they shut the door on the people behind me. So I'm going to work to change the rule because I feel I can talk to the right people about this and bring some research in, and I can be heard. Doing a disservice to people who want the opportunity, I'm fighting for them. So this kid's already, this is before the draft, he made these comments, and it's a long article. I won't read the whole thing. But he already is showing and exemplifying leadership. And of course, you're going to get this out of service academies anyways. Yeah. Of course. But just an amazing young man. What an amazing emotional response. Like, I mean, we're watching this thing live and I'm over there freaking crying for crying out loud. But so they mentioned the Jim Thorpe Award. So he wins the Jim Thorpe Award in 2023. The Jim Thorpe Award, again, has started in 1986 and goes to the best defensive back in the league. You guys want to hear some of the names off this, who's won the Jim Thorpe Award?
Please.
You guys remember Benny Blades out of Miami, University of Miami? That's back in 1987. This is when the University of Miami was freaking balling. Remember him? Okay. Benny Blades. This guy you may or may not have heard of, Deion Sanders.
Oh, that guy.
How about this one, Michelle? In 1997, Charles Woodson wins the award. In 2005, for Raider fans, Michael Huff. How about that? Yeah,
No
shout out Jamba
Yeah.
Juice and Chipotle. If you get that, you've got deep cuts.
There you go.
Here we go. 2008, Malcolm Jenkins. In 2009, swag for you, Eric Berry out of Tennessee.
There you go.
Turned out to be a pretty damn good safety, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
2010, Patrick Peterson. Ever heard of that guy? 2020, Trayvon Merrick.
Wow.
And then, of course, in 2023, it is Trey Taylor. Man,
I'm sorry. How does a guy like that wins the Jim Thorpe Award, how is he drafted in the 7th effing round?
because of the stupid bias against Group of Five schools.
Yeah.
I wish Murphy was here. We're going to get QB Jeff
That
on.
is unreal, dude.
Unbelievable.
That is.
Ball is ball, man.
I wrote steal of the draft.
100%.
I think the steal of
For
the
us, for
entire
sure.
of the entire draft. Like, I mean, come on, dude. I mean, you look at this guy, 4.53 40, 205 tackles in his 3 seasons at Air Force, 2.5 sacks, 6 interceptions. This dude's literally all over the field, hard hitter. He's gritty. And oh, yeah, by the way, he's got Ed Reed DNA in his freaking blood, man.
Well, by
because that's
marriage, but still, as a mentor, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
100%.
Deal. Yeah. Cousins with the guy. I mean, come on, man. He knows how to ball.
Oh, it's so cool, man. I love this one.
The only 2 things aside from that I had written down was he has strong instincts and he's incredible at reading plays, which I think is
and 100%. I couldn't agree more with that.
Which is so important for safety.
It's so
like
important.
it's up there with like middle linebacker, if not equal to, as far as like you got to read.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you got to sit back and you got to read and diagnose and process quickly. And like, it's up there with like quarterback skills
Yeah.
with like, you got to figure it out quick and be decisive and end up in the right spot. Now they said that he can get a little arm tackly when he commits to the line of scrimmage because he's anticipating so much, which is a knock that was against Jonathan Abram, right? Like that was Abram's big thing is that like he would run himself out of position because he was trying to get to a spot in anticipation. He chose poorly as the freaking, the guy the knight in Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade would say. He chose poorly. Hopefully, and I trust that Trey Taylor is not going to choose poorly. He's going to choose to be in the right, vicinity, especially with the amazing defensive staff and the amazing head coaching skills that we have seen already from this football team. We're going to coach this young man up, and I'm with you guys. I think he's going to be a baller. I think that he's going to be sneaky, freaking good. And listen, I like Marcus Epps, and I like Trayvon Merrick. I like Chris Smith even out of Georgia, who we hadn't seen a lot of last year. But I think this guy's going to climb that depth chart and challenge. By the time we get to the end of the year, you can't be that cerebral and that talented athletically and not, you know what I'm saying?
Excel.
Like, give him some time. He's one of those picks where it's like, with time, this dude's going to freaking, it can't not work because it always does. Because that's what happens when you get experience to go with your talent and you're smart. So I'm rooting for the kid, man. I'm excited on that one. All right, one more emotional one to get to before we get to Devontae Adams on the rush with Max Crosby.
Right.
Let's hear from MJ Devonshire.
Come on.
As he gets the call.
MJ, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Hey, we're getting ready to select you right here. We've been sorry you had to wait so long.
Appreciate it, Coach.
All right. You excited?
Appreciate it, Coach. Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
That's so good,
awesome.
dude.
Hey, I'm going to put you on the phone with our head coach, Antonio Pierce, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, congrats. Hold on.
Thank you.
What's going on, big dog?
What's up?
Hey, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Good. I can hear it in your voice, man. Come on. Bring that juice and that energy, man. Enjoy it with your family.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, baby.
Let's
We're looking
do
forward
it.
to you. We'll see you in a few.
Let's do it.
All right, baby. Love.
Thanks.
Yeah, boy. You made it. Walk that walk. Where you want to be. Where you want to be. All the motivation in the world. Can't nobody take nothing from you and everything in front of you. Baby.
Oh my gosh, man. So
so
freaking
good.
good. So here's my comparison for MJ Devonshire. Here's my take on him. I think this is another one. Sneaky freaking good.
Okay.
So my comparison, again, don't have to go far outside Raider Nation or now he's a Packer.
Oh my gosh. Please say it.
Are you going to say Keyshawn Nixon?
Oh, I was going to say Tyler Hall.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
I like Keyshawn Nixon more though, because here's why.
Okay.
This kid ain't playing corner.
You don't think so?
He's a returner.
Oh.
And with the rule changes in the NFL, this is playing chess, not checkers. Telesco and the freaking Raiders Brain Trust know that the returning kicks is now relevant once again based on the rule changes. And this kid was an electric returner in college.
That's
yes, he's a
true.
cornerback by freaking title, just like Keyshawn Nixon was. And so now you've got somebody that's a dynamic, because who else would return kicks for us? Hunter Renfro gone.
Dylan Lobby. It's going to be the two rookies.
We'll put both those guys back there, but then here's your punt guy maybe or something. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Both those guys on kickoffs, and here's your punt guy. But I'm telling, I think that's where we're going to see him excel. And another comp would have been Johnny Lee Higgins, but Johnny Lee Higgins was a wide receiver, so that's why I went with Keyshawn Nixon. But I'm telling you, I think that's where this kid's going to make an impact, and I think he's going to make an impact. He might be a starter, but not at corner. You might see him on the very first kickoff for the Raiders this season, or the kickoff to the Raiders this season, might be MJ Devonshire back there fielding kicks.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree. Yeah, I mean, you said it all, man. I don't have anything.
Damn right I did, Jeff.
Michelle, you got anything on MJ?
Actually, I don't. I just have his name written down. I didn't.
It's a hell of a name. Hell of a name.
It's a great name.
Yeah,
Hell of a name.
absolutely.
Hell of a
So, man, what a great draft, top to bottom.
Wow, absolutely. Wrap us up,
Yeah,
Jeff.
unbelievable, man. You know, I mean, from top to bottom. And let me just tag this. Listening to some of these calls right here. God dang it, I love Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
I love
Come
the
on.
shit out of our freaking
Come
head
on.
coach, man. You know, like we're big fans. You gave respect to the organization for, releasing those get the calls and all that kind of stuff. And, I've been a Raider fan for 5 years, so I've heard Gruden make those calls. I've heard McDaniels make those calls. ain't nothing like a freaking AP call, man. Because it's
and Gruden was good at it.
And
was good, yeah.
Gruden was good at them. But like Antonio Pierce, because he's done it. He's one of the boys, man. So instead of going, all right, man, yeah, you ready, man? Yeah,
we gotta go get Mahomes,
man. No, hey, man, you ready, Doc? Let's get to work, bro. I need you to whip some ass.
And I love how he always says, he goes, love.
Yeah. Because that's what it is, man. Raider Nation is love, man.
So freaking
it's
good.
love.
Nobody enjoyed a good Donnybrook more than sixth-year linebacker Phil Villapiano.
This is Phil Villapiano, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio.
Las Vegas, a city without a pro football team, in a world gone mad. What can we do about it? Acquire the most desired franchise in sports history? Sin City, lost wages, home of the Elvis weddings, and 24-hour debauchery. But finally, a match made in heaven. The Oakland Raiders have landed in the desert with the Death Star as their home. And to celebrate beyond your imagination has come 3 individuals hosting the most irreverent show while paying homage to the storied history of this franchise. Raiders Fan Radio with Murf, Swaggy J, and Michelle, taking a lighter side journey into the dark side.
All right, there we go. Thank you, Uncle Mosh, for that ID there. All right, so Michelle, man, we've got so much to get to tonight, man. Post-draft, man, there's so much to talk about. So your rookie numbers look like this. Brock is going to wear number 89, which the last time we drafted somebody that wore 89 was...
was it Amari Cooper?
Yeah, sure was. Yeah, Amari Cooper. JPJ is going to wear 70. Delmar or DJ Glaze is going to wear 71. This is interesting. Richardson's wearing 21.
Oh.
21. That's
a Meeks number,
that's
right?
That's a Meeks number, and so that's interesting to see him wear. That's a treasured number.
Yeah.
You know, in Raider Nation, that's one of them.
you.
That's one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, Eichenberg is going to wear 45. Speaking of treasured numbers, you know what I mean?
there
That's
you
one
go.
of my
Yeah.
favorite guys, which if you could, for those of you that are on the video podcast, you see this Marcel Reese jersey I have right over here is one of my all-time favorite Raiders, and signed that for me live at a game, man. Saw me in the stands and comes over and goes, "Hey man, let me get that jersey." And I'm like, yeah. And I freaking elbowed an 11-year-old and took his shirt. No, I'm kidding. But I did. I asked this kid.
he was 10.
He was 10.
Yeah.
I go, "Hey, can I?"
And it was a little girl. But okay.
And I said, "Hey, can I borrow your Sharpie?" And he was like, "Yeah, here you go." And so Marcel signed that. But anyway, so I love number 45. That's a good one. The Dylan Lobby is going to wear 23. Here's another one that's interesting. Trey Taylor. We just espoused how much we love Trey Taylor. He has taken a legendary number. Do you guys know what it is?
Is it 25?
37. Lester's number.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Bold
He's taking
choice,
Hayes'
Cotton.
number,
I
and
love
then MJ Devonshire takes 26. Shout out Stanford Route if you guys.
There
Also,
you go.
we
Napoleon
forgot about
Kaufman.
Brian Edwards. He was 89. Jordan Ford in the chat he was 89.
Oh, yeah,
too.
but he was late,
I completely
right?
forgot about him.
Yeah, I forgot about Brian
Yeah,
Edwards too.
sorry,
Yeah.
Edwards.
Thank you, Jordan
My bad.
Ford.
Yeah.
So did a lot of us.
Yeah.
Tyrone Wheatley, Ariel Zuniga says he wore 47. He wore 47. Yep. So good stuff there on the numbers. And so before we finally close up our draft conversation, let's talk about the undrafted free agents.
Sure.
Okay?
I don't have any notes on that, but go for
That's
it.
okay. I got it. So in terms of undrafted free agents, this is the most undrafted free agents post-draft that the Raiders have signed in, I don't even know. You got to go back a ways. And so this is going to be interesting to see how these players turn out. And so 17 undrafted free agents signed this year. Last year when Telesco was with the Chargers, you know how many undrafted free agents he signed?
How many?
17.
Wow.
Good job, Michelle. He dropped 17. Just a couple of those guys, I believe, made the team. But here's what's interesting about talking about need. And so I'm not going to give you the whole dang list of guys, but there's a few of them that jumped out at me. Carter Bradley. Carter Bradley, first and foremost, is the biggest one. The reason, if that name sounds familiar to you, not only is it because he's Gus Bradley's son, but because our resident QB Jeff, has mentioned out of the group of 5 schools, Michael Pratt and Carter Bradley were the 2 best players at quarterback out of the group of 5 schools. So we bring in Carter Bradley. I went down a little bit of a deep dive. I can rabbit hole it every once in a while, Michelle.
Okay.
And I'm not a tape guy. I'm not a film guy. I'm just a knucklehead in my office watching freaking YouTube videos. But Carter Bradley, here's a little controversy for you all. Carter Bradley reminds me of a certain quarterback out of Fresno State.
Oh.
No kidding.
Interesting.
When you look at their size is nearly identical. They're within a pound of each other in terms of size and height. And when you look at Carter Bradley in the pocket, he's got a little quieter feet. You know, Derek does all that kind of like bouncy kind of thing. He's got a little quieter feet, but he's more decisive than Derek with the football. It's 1, 2, 3, boom, ball's gone. It's like he's very decisive. Doesn't have the arm Derek did. Derek has got a little bit bigger of an arm, but still Carter Bradley can deliver the ball downfield. There's a lot of similarities. And again, both group of 5 guys, you know, there's a lot going on between Carter Bradley. It would not shock me. Here's another. I got one more bold prediction for you, Raider Nation. It would not shock me if Carter Bradley is in the mix as a backup quarterback at some time this season. Ooh. And I'm not saying, and listen, this is not a shot at AOC. It's not any of that. But I think we understand what some of Aiden's limitations are, and fair. And he might be the next franchise quarterback, and I hope he is. Because I'm rooting for all of them. Because anybody in silver and black, I'm going to root for. But when you look at Carter Bradley's skill set, it's kind of impressive. And the only reason, again, that he fell so far was some of the limitations that he has in mobility and the fact that he played at a group of 5 school. You know what I mean? Like, it's such because he played at South Alabama and he played at Tulane before that. So I totally get it why he fell. But he was one of the first guys that the Raiders snatched up. And our freaking guy, Murphy, has been, QB Jeff, had been calling it the whole way through. And so when it happened, I was like, wow. And so sure enough, man, I'm telling you, I think that's a really nice quarterback room for us. Carter Bradley, AOC, and Gardner Minshew. All right, so then we've got, there's a whole bunch of guys on here. Andrew Coker, who's a guy that played pretty well at TCU a couple years ago and then fell off. Anyways, I'll save you the whole list, but here's the way that kind of the synopsis of it. Based on the consensus of prospect ratings of 101 experts ahead of the 2024 NFL Draft, which was assembled by all these different players, the Raiders have one of the top undrafted free agent classes. These guys assigned a number value to each player in the undrafted free agent class based on their ranking on the consensus board, and the Raiders signings tally a total ranking 4th in the league. In addition, the Vegas Raiders inked 2 players who landed in the top 300 of the aforementioned consensus board. The 5 players with the highest values in the Raiders undrafted class ranks 11th in the NFL. The top 3, and it just goes on. I'll save you all the verbiage on this stuff. But the point being, though, is that the guys that we sign in undrafted free agents are freaking pretty good ball players. And so there might be an injury knock against them. There might be a where they played knock against them. There might be, who knows, a reason for different fall-offs. But there's a lot to be said for having a strong undrafted free agent signing list. And you know, like one of my favorite things about this, and speaking of the boy, and let's shout him out, Will Compton. At a minimum, if you can sign an undrafted free agent that goes on and has a 9-year career in the NFL, that's pretty freaking awesome. These guys are, Mo talked about it on Silver and Black today. These guys are like lottery tickets. But there's been some amazing lottery tickets, you know, Terrell Suggs, you know what I mean? There's been some amazing undrafted players. But I think at a minimum, if we have the expectation that one of these guys could be a Will Compton, that's pretty freaking solid, man.
Or Antonio Pierce.
Come on.
Come on.
You go.
Shame on me.
You know?
Good for you. Yeah, good for you.
Antonio Pierce, undrafted free agent, Super Bowl champion, captain of a freaking defense. I mean, if we can get one of those kind of guys, you know, and oh yeah, we've got the guy that did it, teaching these young guys how to do it. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, hook, line, and sinker, man, right?
Yeah, you're not in a better situation than to have Antonio Pierce cheering you on and telling you how to get it done. Like, talk about best case scenario for those guys.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Really cool.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to some of the veteran players of this football team. And I know we're going to run a little bit long tonight, guys. We got the Sea of Fans still to get to. We'll probably go for another 30 minutes or so if y'all are cool with that. All right, so let's check in with Davante Adams. And so he appeared on Max Crosby's podcast.
He's killing it.
It was so good.
Killing it, man.
God, it was so good.
He had Guard Dog on last week, and then now here he follows it up with frickin' Davante Adams. And I'll tell you my favorite thing about this. And listen, and I haven't listened to the whole thing. I went through and kind of listened to it as I could because it just came out, and I was busy show prepping and whatnot, so I haven't heard the whole thing. I look forward to listening back through the whole thing in its entirety. But my biggest takeaway in the amount that I heard from Davante on this is that this is the most transparent we've heard Davante. Davante's very
That's exactly
guarded
what I thought.
in his comments. He's like, watches his language. It's very it's almost like we talked about coach speak or GM speak earlier. It's very player speak. He's very walled off. But man, sitting there in the freaking wherever they're at doing the Rush podcast.
We saw a type of Tay we've never seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Like I've had comments before about him and his leadership and saying that Max is the de facto leader of the Raiders. Yes, Davante is a leader as well, but he's not real vocal. He's not. Oh, I was wrong.
Bullshit.
I was wrong as hell. He's super vocal. We just don't see it as fans. And so I got a newfound even respect, if it could get any more, for Davante. But I got a whole new understanding, I would say, of Davante based on his appearance on this show. And that's what these player created podcasts, man, they're freaking awesome.
They are.
They're so good.
So good, man. It's like watching freaking Hard Knocks or something. You know what I mean?
It is.
Like it gives you insight.
It is.
Speaking of the boys, and that's where when Taylor and Will started that, you didn't see active players doing a podcast, and everybody was so afraid to say anything. And here these guys are yucking it up and talking about shit stories and all that other kind. You know what I mean? And so now we're seeing that spread across the league and other sports now, and it's just it's awesome. So, anyways, props to the freaking guys at the Rush, and props for getting freaking Davante. What a get and what an amazing interview. And so I got just one clip for you from Davante. This is where we talked about earlier where the puzzle pieces are starting to come together. Listen to what Davante has to say about playing in an offense designed by Luke Getsy.
I don't got to go yelling at dudes in practice and stuff like that. So it makes it easy. It really just comes down to us coming out, starting hot. We got a really good system on offense now, and it's something that I'm very familiar with. It's what I basically, it's literally the same verbiage, everything. It's the same playbook because Getsy was my receiver coach, and then he took what we did in Green Bay over to the Bears, and they didn't have the best cast to make him look good with that, but it's a hell of a system. So I'm really comfortable with it. So now it's just gonna come out and starting fast, man. We won that first game last year, but just establishing who we are in that first quarter of the year, and obviously starts with a whole lot of other work before that in OTAs and throughout training camp, but just coming in and competing, man. Everybody just taking it upon themselves and saying that this shit means the world to me. Cause that's why you see the results you do from us on the field out there is because it means that fucking much to us. And that's really what it comes down to. You're gonna get better, and you'll be the player that you want to be. Realistically want to be. Not everybody's gonna be an all-pro, but you'll be the player you want to be if you put enough into it and do the right thing enough. And I think that's where we headed.
Yeah, and just to kind of reiterate what you said, this is the most he's given to any other podcast or any other interview that I ever heard, and it's really cool to hear that he holds such a leadership position. We knew that he did, but none of that is for us to hear, and I appreciate that they keep some things to themselves. It's not for everybody to know, but I loved that he was willing to give as much as he did. And I know it's kind of like he's just chopping it up with Max Crosby and I don't know the other two guys' names that are there, but it's just cool to hear. And then to hear him talk about Getsy, that really fires me up.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of question marks for me because I don't know anything about him. I don't know about his scheme. I don't know anything, really, a whole lot of anything. And so to hear him put his stamp of approval and sound really excited about it really gives me a lot of hope for the season.
That's any of the criticism, Jeff, that the Raiders got for hiring Luke Getsy. If Davante Adams is convicted in it, then I don't give a shit what any fan thinks.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'm really was on board with Michelle on that too. Like, when you hear all the candidates of who our offensive coordinator could have been, it seemed pretty unanimous that nobody wanted Luke Getsy.
Yeah.
That was kind of the guy like, well, if we can get Cliff Kingsbury, if we can get one of these other guys, Dan Johnson or whoever, any of these other guys, as long as it's not Luke Getsy, we should be all right. Well, here we go. We signed Luke Getsy, and everyone's like, oh shit, what are we going to do? Because, and like you, I didn't know anything about him. It took me a minute to dig in to even know that he was with Devontae Adams for a little while in Green Bay, because I just knew him as the ass offensive coordinator for the freaking Bears. But, I believe Tay when he says, well, maybe they just didn't have the right pieces to make that offense look as good as what it could be, because I made it look good. And so gives me all the confidence in the world that, okay, it's going to look good.
And I love, we know the truth in there in the chat room. First off, thanks for the compliment on my hat. But also he says, seems like Tay had his hands on that hire. Listen, if they're not consulting with their superstar players, they're doing something wrong. And knowing that Antonio Pierce and the coaching staff are such representatives of the locker room and leaders, like, why would you not? Like, hey, Devontae, we're considering this guy, and this guy. What do you think? You know what I mean? And obviously he's going to get Getsy's going to get his endorsement. And so I agree with that comment 100%. And I think that's a pretty profound call out there. We know the truth. Appreciate that. All right, next up, let's get to this. Of course, this is the Max Crosby podcast. So let's listen to Max Crosby. And here's where, all right, I said I was going to mention Bo Nix earlier, right? Here's where I'm entirely thrilled Bo Nix is a Broncos quarterback. For those of you that didn't see, and I'm sure everybody has, but if you hadn't, Bo Nix made comments that the SEC was so competitive and people took it so seriously, and that when he left the SEC, when he left Auburn and he went to the Pac-12 and he started playing for Oregon, that people are just a lot more understanding that football is something that I'm paraphrasing, but something that he does, not something that he is, and all that. And I said, well, keep that dude a mile away from the Raiders, because if he thinks the SEC was tough, wait till he gets a dose of Raider Nation, right? And so sure as shit, like that, I love it. Like, not like in terms of like, oh, see, I told you so. I told you. Not like that, but just to like a confirmation that like, yeah, this shit is a big deal. Listen to what Max Crosby's advice is to young players, and then take that and contrast that to what Bo Nix had to say about football is just kind of something that I do.
Yeah. And that's my biggest advice for you, is just like, if you really want it that way and you want to be the best, like, you have to sacrifice a lot of shit. You got to put football first and really fucking, you're literally selling your soul to the game.
Yeah.
Like, you're really giving everything up to be the best. And we have such a short window. You don't know how long you're going to play. If you play 15, like, how old are you?
23.
23. So if you play 15 years, you'll be, what, 38 when you're done? Sorry, quick math. But 38, you have a whole life to live, and you could do whatever you want, go on any vacation and don't follow the crowd, bro.
Yeah.
Put everything you have into it, and I promise you will not regret it. And when you're done, I mean, some people are going to have their certain type of ways. I can't tell you how many people I've lost in the process just because, damn, you're not hitting me back. It's not the same. I'm like, it is what it is. I don't even lose energy over it, because I know what I'm chasing, bro. I got one life. You know what I mean? I have one opportunity at this shit. So yeah, just be obsessed, bro, and always be curious and ask questions. You never have it. Like, you never have the answers. I know I'm not my best right now. I know I could be better.
Well, the thing I love about those comments, Jeff, is that he's not saying that football has to be your life for your life, but I've got a short window. And that's the thing about the NFL, man. The average career is 3 years. If you don't dump everything that you have into it and love it more than anybody else, it's over like that. And that's the thing that, like, when you hear a guy like Bo Nix make a comment like that like, oh, people take it too seriously. That would have never have worked in the Raiders locker room. It's fascinating to me, and I can't wait to see Max Crosby put that punk on his ass.
Well, there's a difference. There's a real big difference in being a mid football player, a good football player, a great football player, and an elite football player. Max Crosby is an elite football player because he understands that, yes, you've got to sacrifice a lot to be elite in this league, to make your mark on this league, to create history in this league. And a guy like Bo Nix that is just like, man, it's my job, and everyone takes it too seriously. Good. Perfect. Because we're going to whip your ass twice a year.
And you know what? And I'm sorry, were you done?
Sure.
Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought, please.
No, please go.
I just get excited.
No, yeah, you're excited. You're excited. I'm done.
Okay. I think you killed Michelle over there.
Sure.
Your turn. I'm just going to start saying that. Every time you cut me off, I'm just going, your turn.
I'm not trying to cut you off. But I think, is it like, and you know what? And if there are other things more important than football, then great. Like, I don't begrudge Bo Nix.
Max Crosby has a lot important going on in his life.
Absolutely.
He's got a little girl. He's married and all. He's got a lot of stuff going on in his life. But football is way up there.
Bo Nix, what was the team he came from? You said
Oregon
he
Ducks.
played.
Well, he played at Auburn. He was at Auburn.
Which is an SEC team, right?
Yeah, and then he went to the Oregon Ducks.
I thought in the SEC football was life.
It is, and that's what he didn't like.
He said he didn't like that, and that's why that's why he went to Oregon.
Yeah, okay.
But one of the things that he liked about Oregon football is that people didn't take it so seriously.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah,
they're just concerned about alternate uniforms instead of playing on the field.
Highlighters and stuff.
No, it's because everybody's smoking weed and hiking in Oregon.
Well,
and
that's true too.
You know what I mean?
That's acceptable if you're not a football player. But no, what are you gonna do? That is going to be my favorite. That's forever. But no, I can't wait to see Max Crosby completely obliterate that kid. And I know he's still just a kid, but it's interesting because it's like football for the time that you're in it, and he expresses how you don't know how much time you have. You are football. It's not just something that you do. Like, if you want to be an elite player, if you want to be at the top of your game, it's wild to think that a quarterback who's supposed to be the leader of the team is like, well, it's not who I am.
Yeah. Yeah,
I have other things outside of football. That's like who says that as a quarterback? Like,
yeah, 100%. Well, you think of all the elite players that have ever played this game. When you think of them, what do you think of? You think of football.
Yeah.
I'm
Look
not
at Tom Brady. He lost his whole damn family to stay in football.
And you know what?
I'm not saying it's right.
And not to say that's what you should do, but he understood the window was there.
And it's interesting. And when you look at the most successful, and listen, I'm not saying it's right for everybody.
Right.
But when you look at the most successful coaches, they're not great in their family life.
Yeah.
Because they're so dedicated to football that the family life goes to shit. Not as goes to shit necessarily, but it's a struggle for them. And I'm not trying to punk anybody or call anybody, but when you look at Bill Belichick, it's rough at the house because all you're doing is football 24/7. And so I think that, and you know what? And so shout out Max Crosby and any of those players' spouses that are like, all right, go do your thing.
Yeah.
You go do your thing, because again, it's short-lived. When they're done playing, like you said, they're 38 years old.
That's so young.
38. Their kids are still in freaking middle school. Then you dig into being a family man and the travel and the time, because the window is so small. And so respect to not only again Max, but any of the spouses out there that kind of accept that idea that nope, if he's going to be the best, you know what I mean? Want them $98 million contracts?
Yeah.
That's got to be his life for a minute. You know what I mean? But it shouldn't always be his life. So anyways, there's a lot to dissect there. Oh my gosh. Shout out that chat there. And then let's move on and go to the Sea of Fans.
You do that, Michelle.
I'm sorry. I was laughing at Paul. He said it didn't affect Phillip Rivers' family life. So
well, that is true.
Shout out
but Phillip wasn't all in.
Well, that exactly.
He
was mid. He was. Well, he was all in. Okay. Shout out to Fabricator Gil for a $20 donation. He says, can't wait. All feeling damn good this year. Let's see. Win, 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 win.
Perfect. Thank you, Gil.
Thank you, Gil.
And no matter what happens, Fabricator Gil always wins.
He always
He's
wins.
a winner.
He's just
Damn,
a winner.
he's a winner.
He's a damn winner.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, Swag Jeff. Let's more of that. Well, shout out the chat room first, please.
Sure, absolutely. Ray Love, SoCal Sal, Jordan Ford, Raider Nick, Fabricator Gil, O Flo, Raider Craig, Anthony Estrada. Let's see, Dan Messier, SoCal Sal, Leo. Let's see, Paul, Jack Kenna.
Paul?
What'd you say?
I don't know.
All right.
What are you gonna
do? Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Some areolas and, what are you going to do? What's better than that?
Oh my
What's
gosh.
better than that?
What's better than that? Edgar Hernandez. Raider Dangerfield. I love that.
Oh,
Raider
that's
a
Dangerfield.
great name. That's a
one.
great name.
Great one. We Know the Truth is in there. Corey Flex in there. Ariel Zuniga's in there. Jesus Alvarez is in there. Michael James is in there. Ray Love. And hey, speaking of all these great folks, more of them and less of us most definitely is a good thing.
He is fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied. He throws. It is. He caught it.
You, Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Just cause.
Just cause. So you can contact us a multitude of ways here at Raiders Fan Radio. You can jump in the chat room at any time at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. And we appreciate all of those of you that are in the chat room tonight. We love you guys. Thank you for your support of the show. You can join us on the audio podcast by any podcast service, Spotify, Apple, let's see, Pandora, any of those you can find us. And so iHeartRadio, we appreciate you joining us there. Or you can email the show.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, you can email the show. So get your pens out. And it is S.
Get your pocket knife and carve it into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway.
That is S.
Uh-huh.
That is H.
Uh-huh.
That is O.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
As in, oh my.
Oh my.
And W.
As in won the draft.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is SHOW at RaidersFanRadio.com. And Michelle is going to read your emails. And then after that, we're going to get your voicemails where you can reach us at 909-345-3346. That is 909-345-3346. And if we play your message on the show 3 times, then we refer to you as the next made man or made woman. Or you can email the show an indefinite amount of times. And Michelle, who do we have tonight?
So we have Hooligan first.
Hey, Hooligan.
What's up, RFR crew, Murf, Swaggo, and the F-bomb sommelier, Michelle? Hooligan here, and after having time to digest the draft, I'm not exactly upset. There are things I would have done differently, but let's be honest, isn't that the case for all of us? I'm sure, like most of us, would have been happier with a top 5 quarterback, but that wasn't meant to be. Then we didn't go after a CB in the top round, which most agree was an area of need, and instead of grabbing what all the pundits believe to be a generational talent at tight end. But one thing I believe that all the nation can agree on is bleep. The Falcons. Now bring on the schedule release. No, but seriously, I can't wait till that damn schedule comes out. Okay, Murph's gone, so the button. So I'm the button. Thank you for that email, Hooligan. All right, next we have Opalo. I think he's in the chat. Dear RFR family, as I write this email, I hope that Raider Nation finds itself in a more positive demeanor. This draft brought out a lot of debate amongst the nation. I believe more passion has been shown by Raiders fans across the nation and the world than before. I get it. We want that W. I was very nervous about this draft because it felt like possibly the team would draft a quarterback and place AOC in the back burner to simmer. This team is a quarterback away from taking the division and leading us to the promised land. I will admit that I'm a fan of Aiden O'Connell. He needs a better chance to prove himself. That chance is now, and I feel he will. Not being a fan of Gardner Minshew gave me a sick feeling at first when the Raiders signed him. I was holding a grudge from the loss we had on the final game at Oakland. Come to my surprise, after watching The Rush, I grew to forget why I didn't like him. In fact, I began to feel that Al Davis would have picked this guy. He fits with the team and what Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco are building. When the Raiders didn't draft a QB in the first 2 rounds, I knew for sure that it would be O'Connell or Minshew for the number 1 spot. I'm not an X's and O's kind of guy, but I have love and passion for my team, and this draft just heightened the level of excitement. All these picks feel like they fit with the Raiders. 2 years ago, I attended the draft experience in Las Vegas. I was able to attend all 3 days and enjoy all it had to offer. Funny thing is that even after meeting Max Crosby, Marshawn Lynch, and a few other athletes, I must confess that one memory stood out the most. As I was walking around from booth to booth, I passed 2 Raiders fans, a real tall dude with salt and pepper facial hair, a hat, and glasses. Behind him was a plump, swaggy-looking dude. The pause. The tall one nodded. The tall one nodded his head at me as if saying, "What's up, fellow Raiders fan?" The one behind him looked like he had been really enjoying his libations, so he didn't notice me. As I kept walking, I met up with my family, and I started to talk to my wife, and I said, "Hey, I feel like I know those 2 guys, but I can't think from where." Then it hit me. It was Murf and Swag. My wife suggested that I go say hi, yet I was starstruck and couldn't think of what to say. I missed my chance. Well, that's it for now. Yours truly, Oflo. Dude.
Oh,
well, don't be starstruck by us.
Never be starstruck. Swag loves when people come up to him and say they recognize him.
And if no one does during the day, I'll just look at myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Or just watch old episodes of RFR.
Oh, I do that every week.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. But yeah, you know what? And so I'm gonna just jump in real quick. First off, thank you for the email. That was a great email.
Yeah, it was.
And yeah, man, like we love meeting people. Like this last tailgate that we were at for the last game against the Broncos. Man, we had so much fun and met so many cool people. And like
we got to finally meet Van City Raider was out there.
Right.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, and I mean, and you know, and every time we do a Raider trip, and sometimes we'll even do official meetups and stuff. And like this show is conversational when it's at its best, and it's all about community. And so we love meeting people. So yeah, please, Lord have mercy. Like that's like it's incredibly flattering to think to be like, oh no, I don't want like, no, come on over, man. We'll just have a beer and freaking, I don't know, play a slot machine together. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just like we love meeting people, man. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. It's very kind, Oflo.
All right, next is Paul's email. Evening, everybody. I hope everyone is well after last weekend's tension.
Gil says I'm still starstruck.
We're starstruck by you, Gil.
I was going to say,
you.
Absolutely. Gil, man, just a bomb tailgates,
I swear, he rules. And what a weekend it was. I'm very happy with the way everything has turned out. On paper, we got a very balanced draft class with a couple of all-pro stars in the making in Brock Bowers and Jackson Powers Johnson, and a general group of exciting talent that looks as if it could bear fruit for a long time to come. I want to praise Tom Telesco above anyone else. We all had our expectations for the weekend, many wanting him to throw everything at one of the top quarterbacks, but as it turned out, the asking price was way too high, and I applaud him for not bowing to the pressure and sticking to his guns. If we stop and think for a minute, the best player available approach was always going to be the way Telesco went about his business. Historically, that's what he's always done. His approach has never been to move up or down the board, and he's always been known for a more methodical approach. All of this we knew when he was hired, so it shouldn't have come as a surprise. It did when we drafted a tight end with our first pick. Brock Bowers was undoubtedly the best player available, so why not pick him? We've been so accustomed to watching idiots like the poisonous dinosaur Gruden and the visor-wearing tit the visor-wearing tit McDumbass ruining our drafts.
That's an underrated insult that only Europeans can throw around.
Man.
Right?
I love it.
Because if we called somebody a tit, it would just be like, it doesn't work.
No,
right?
No, but if you're European, you call somebody a tit.
That shit hurts.
He's quite a tit, isn't he? You know what I mean? Like,
damn.
sorry, Paul.
That's dumb.
Oh, don't get us
Don't
started.
get us going on that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were about to. I thought.
He's a tit.
Isn't he?
Isn't it?
It's a tit, isn't it?
No, what are you going to do?
What am I going to do? I'm going to do this.
Some areolas and, you know, what are you going to do?
What's better than that?
What's better
What's
than
better
that?
than that?
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now you've gone too far.
The visor-wearing tit McDumbass ruining our drafts with their dictatorships. We'd forgotten what it was like to be led by a grown-up. If only Mike Mayock and Dave Ziegler hadn't been puppets, we may have seen this kind of outcome.
See? There's an adult in the room.
We may have seen this kind of outcome a number of years ago. There's no doubt there's been more thought gone into it this year. They took emotion out of it and drafted guys that fit the system. What a novel idea. Another area that Telesco has had success has been the UDFAs. 17 of them turned up late on Sunday, and
sorry, Jeff and I are losing our shit over here.
And I've already heard from people more experienced than me that there could be some really interesting gems in that group. And don't forget, we've got even more scope to improve with the post-June 1st cuts as well, which will give us a very healthy salary cap. So now that the dust has settled, I hope Raider Nation is calm and not losing their minds. I, for one, can't see how anyone can be disappointed. I know the quarterback debate will run for some time yet, and where would we be if we didn't have one of them to contend with? And who's to say we haven't already got our QB1 in place? I said a few emails ago, don't rule out AOC4. He's a fast learner, and Gardner Minshew might just have found his ideal home. Just because he hasn't been successful elsewhere doesn't mean he won't be a perfect fit for us. One thing I would ask a Raider Nation, though, is can we all judge the guys when they've had the chance to prove themselves? Not before. Don't be like other uneducated fan bases. We're better than that. As of last Sunday, these young guys became Raiders. They're our boys now, so they need our backing. AP said recently, not everyone can be a Raider. We're looking at this class, they've got that extra sprinkle of Raider Nation nasty about them. I can't wait to see them in action. And finally. Sadly, we've lost another Raider. Arthur Whittington was just before my time, but when I was first able to dive into the archives of YouTube and watch great Raider players, some of the best plays and one of the underrated guys around seemed to be Arthur Whittington. He passed away at the weekend at the young age of 68. It's always sad when we lose someone. I hope he gets his recognition. Farewell, 22, and thank you, sir. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi, Pauly Award winner 2019-2022, Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020, BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, five time times 3 plus 1, winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Nice job, Paul. As always.
Paul, your name Paul?
Paul.
I met him with
Paul. Who? Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
Darn right you are, and no one brings thunder on the emails like Paul.
Yeah.
I love
Really does.
Leo's comment in there. Michelle, kudos to you for getting through this email. I would have been laughing with Murf. Absolutely,
No
man.
kidding.
Paul, he's so clever and so funny, and so we appreciate Paul. Before we jump into the Sea of Fans, I do want to remind you real quick that we award the best emailer or phone caller of the night a Sizzler Award. That's who we Swag Jeff will determine is the best. Well, they're all the best, but you know what I mean? Like whatever one is our favorite. And so if you want to be part of that, again, you can call the show at any time, 909-345-3346, or leave an email to us at show, SHOW, at RaidersFanRadio.com. All right, let's check in with our good buddy out in Fresno. So last week, he called this in, and after the show, he was like, where's my call? Well, I show prepped a little earlier than I normally do, and so I missed his call. And so we've got 2 from this guy this week. We got 2 from Jacob in Fresno, 1 from before last week's show. So I think this is just previous or just
right before the draft.
I think it was just before the draft, and but he said it's still relevant. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna play it. And then we've got another one for Jacob post draft. So let's check in with our buddy Jacob in Fresno.
What's up, guys? This is Jacob from Fresno. I don't really have a whole lot funny to say this week, but I'm just thinking about this soberly. I'm thinking about this seriously. Man, I've been a fan since I was in 7th grade, 7th to 8th grade, man. I just started watching the Raiders, and since then, I got to be honest, we've been very terrible. We've had far more losing seasons than we have had winning seasons. Let me talk to you guys about the quarterbacks that we've had. We've had Marquez Tuiasosopo. We've had Andrew Walter. We've had Jamarcus Russell.
my
We've
gosh.
had Bruce Gradkowski,
Legend.
Jason Campbell,
Legend.
Carson Palmer,
Ass.
Derek Anderson for a little bit, Charlie Fry.
Ass.
We had, who's that guy that didn't work out in Arizona? He came to us for like a preseason. Matt Leinart.
Bum.
We had him
Tit.
for a little bit. We had Jeff Garcia, if you'll have him. He was there for a preseason too.
Yeah.
We had so many guys that were just journeymen and not going to be the guy, and we were just hoping against all hope that something would happen. And golly, guys, I am tired of it. Let's just go and get our guy. I don't care. It's going to sound stupid. I would never want to do this if I were the GM because my head would be on a stick. But I don't care if it takes first, second, third, this year, next year, and the year after. Go and get your guy. And I think it's Jaden Daniels. Go and get him.
Well,
Just
so much for
get
that.
me a quarterback that's not Jamarcus Russell in the first round. Come on. We haven't had anything. We've had some cool defenses. Great. We finished that year, with 2 wins? One of them was a great one against the Steelers. Defense was great. Offense was horrible. We didn't have all the things that the other teams are having. We got to look at Patrick Mahomes for the next, 10 years? I'm not doing it. Let's get a quarterback and compete. Sorry. I'm not sorry. No, I'm going to keep going. Oh, okay. I'm going to chill out. Probably none of that is going to happen. But
you're right.
I'm still going to wear silver. I'm still going to wear black. You guys take it easy, but not too easy. Go Raiders. Let's say it one more time. Raiders!
All right, there he goes from Jacob from Fresno. And you know what, Jacob?
We've got some bad news.
We got some bad news for you, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
happened,
didn't
buddy.
take a quarterback. But you know what? And who is Raider 27 in there says can't buy what's not for sale.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. And like we talked about a lot on this show heading into the draft, that there was going to be a run on quarterbacks. I'm shocked, frankly, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, see, we told you so. It's not about that, but I'm shocked that like the national narrative wasn't more around. There was going to be panic on quarterbacks. There was going to be a run, and we said for sure, like the Raiders, if they sit at 13. Those guys might be gone for months, Jeff. I think back to like you and I doing rundowns going like, okay, here's the 6 quarterbacks that are desirable. Here's where the different draft positions are. This was during the season.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, if we win or if we lose, like we could be end up here. And it was like we were doing weekly updates on like where, because we knew that there was an unfreaking precedented quarterback.
We were going to have to trade up.
We were going to have to do something. And it never manifested. So like, I don't think that like I hear Jacob, and I'm sure we're going to get a different tone from Jacob here as we get into his second call. But that idea that like there was nobody there, and I'm glad we didn't make it because Denver wasn't going to trade with us. And from all reports is that it was Penix and Nix. We're kind of like the 1A for them. And once Penix, once the Falcons screwed up the draft, I'm like that was it. And then it was like, all right, BPA, let's go. Brock Bowers, Brock.
Yep,
All right.
100%.
Yeah, that's all I got to say. All right, let's check in with Jacob from Fresno again.
Jeff, Murf, Michelle,
Hey,
what
Jacob.
is up? This is Jacob from Fresno. Guys, I got to say, pretty disappointed that my message didn't get played last week. I hope it doesn't play this week along with this
I've been
one.
getting in trouble.
Oh, you told me to
Really
play it.
embarrassing. You guys can prevent that. That'd be great.
Oh, my bad.
Damn.
Hey, Jacob, I don't preview the calls, by the way, brother. You just got to freaking get it. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Let's talk about this draft. Let me tell you guys what I was doing when we were on the clock. So I was cleaning out a poop room. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
A poop room?
It's a public restroom.
Oh,
okay.
It's basically a dirty room where people go in there and go anywhere except the toilet. Anyway, that's what I was dealing with.
That's a
Had
thing?
my earbuds in.
Wait.
I was
No.
dealing with all that. The Broncos come on the clock, and I'm like, oh, goodness gracious.
Was Uncle Mosh in town? Like, what are we doing?
No kidding.
The whole time I'm thinking, man, these guys are going to get Brock Bowers. We're going to have to deal with this guy for years. I really hope they do something stupid. And what do?
they take Bo Nix, I start fist bumping the air. I can't find
Me
anybody
too.
to celebrate with.
Me
I'm hoping
too.
nobody comes into the poop room and sees me doing what I'm doing. Wow, I am ecstatic. They got Bo Nix. We can go get who? Quinyon Mitchell? I don't know. Anybody. Brock Batchel, I was just happy that the Broncos did. Now we have that. But wait, we have Michael Mayer. So what? Why have one when you can have two? Guys, listen. I'm a Reformed Baptist, but I love Notre Dame. I watched Notre Dame. Michael Mayer was the bee's knees. I listened. I watched all the games, and I loved Michael Mayer the entire time. When we got him, I was ecstatic. Getting Brock Bowers is going to set Michael Mayer off this year. He is going to be so much better because he has a guy like that. You got Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer, and Brock Bowers on the field at the same time. That is impossible. It's not hard. It is impossible to defend. Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew are going to play way over their ceiling because these guys they have around them. I'm hoping we can get somebody else to fill those shoes, but even if we don't, we got weapons all around. I'm so excited. We got JPJ. Are you kidding me? It's like this GM is reading my mind who we should take. I mean, the first round I didn't pick that, but I mean, come on. This looks great. How are you not excited? Get excited. Let's go.
I'm glad we came full circle with Jacob.
We did.
That makes me feel better.
Good job there, Jacob from Fresno, man. That was a great call. All right, next up, let's check in with our buddy, Rafa, El Capitan. Let's check in and see what he's got to say.
Hello, everybody. Rafa in the building, El Capitan Rafucho. I got to tell you for this one, I can't wait for the draft day, which is like 3 days of madness. And I'm going to tell you for this one, I got my choices for the draft 2024, which is from Detroit, Michigan. I will go with Jaden Daniels from LCU because he had a great connection. And, of course, he got a great arm, great technique. And he was like the Heisman Trophy winner. Or I can do it with a cornerback, which is from Iowa State, but also he can play a safety, as known as Cooper DeJong.
Oh, yeah.
But I think he's an enormous beast. He can do it with the frame. He can do it for the defense, with the offense. I mean, he was just like
This
a
was
power
pre-draft too,
caliber
I guess.
that we needed for the defense. Because right now we're in the draft mode, and tomorrow, I got to tell you, from Tom Selleck,
There it is.
do not screw it up right now because we just see like a few years we just had good drafts, and other years we just had bad drafts. So Tom Telesco, don't screw it up because right now the choice is yours. So whatever it takes about it. So right now we're going to risk it all. No matter if it's going to be good, because there's no negative right here. Only positive things that I got to tell you for this one. Salute to everybody else at the Raiders Fan Radio, my brothers, Murf, Swag Jeff, Michelle, I love you. And I got to tell you for this one. Raiders are the baddest MF team on the planet right now. They're just like the BMF, the baddest motherfucking team on the planet. I got to tell you for this one.
Swerve.
And of course, I just wanted to tell you, look for Capitan Rafucho. I will see you there on the draft. So, peace out.
All right, good stuff.
There you go, Rafa. Come on, dude.
Excellent call. All right, next up, let's. He is Jordan Ford in the chat, but we know him as Jay in St. Louis. Always a funny call. Let's check in with our buddy Jay in St. Louis.
Murph, Swaggo, Michelle, it's your boy Jay from St. Louis.
Can I just say, you know, someone knows the show when they call you Swaggo.
Yeah, I love that.
Murph, Swaggo, Michelle, it's your boy Jay from St. Louis. I wasn't fucking joking when I said I want Minshew to be our quarterback going forward. That being said, I read a really funny comment on Twitter about the Falcons, and it said, the Falcons never learned that you don't allow your Penix to be around your cousins. That being said, once again, I genuinely am a guard dog supporter.
Come on,
Let's
do
do
I'm
it.
telling you right now.
Do it.
If Gardner Minshew was our quarterback last year, would we or would we not have made the playoffs?
100%
Because
yes.
I guarantee you we would have.
Yep.
He took that ass Colts team and almost drugged that sorry ass to the playoffs. Now you put him with actual weapons, bro. We have Barack. We have DA. We have Jacoby. We have so many weapons. Minshew has never had this type of support.
Hell no,
Not
he
to
hasn't.
mention, the rest of the draft was solid as shit, man. Like, they shored up, all of the positions we thought they needed, and they did it well. Like, I'm going to go on record right now. The Raiders are making the playoffs, and they're winning at least one game in the playoffs.
Come on.
With
Come
this
on, dude.
roster. I will put money on it.
Put your name on it.
Put your name but I will. I don't know how, but I will. Go Raiders. Guard dog for life.
I love it, man.
Love it.
I love it how he hits the Brock drop.
Like Brock! For Brock! The conqueror himself, Brock! Brock! You want to see your husband fight Brock? You got it! It's on! You can't beat Brock. Best friend in the world, Brock. I got 2 words for you. Brock!
Oh my gosh. Good stuff there from Jay in St. Louis. We appreciate you, brother. All right, we got 2 more to get to. We had one come in at the wire here.
Oh,
so this
we
is
did.
good friend of the show, and I want to give her respect, Susan Lindley.
Okay.
So not only did she get a call in and gets on the board to be the next maiden here at Raiders Fan Radio, but she also contributed via PayPal to the One Nation Foundation directly. And so cannot thank her enough for that donation. We thank you very, very much, Susan, for your contribution. And let's see what Susan had to say.
Hey, this is Susan. I'm calling to say the draft was crazy again. I didn't expect the first round pick. I thought we were over surprises. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Love you, Raider Nation. Oh, I donated $50 to the organization. Go Raiders.
Nice.
Come on, Susan.
Susan.
Voicemail. Thank you, Susan.
Much respect.
Is that her second or third, maybe? Like she that might have done it. Like we need to do a new thing for what Michelle doing the
Let's
Maid
do
Maidens.
that.
Let's do that. We'll record the new Maid Maidens and then let's get Susan in the mix.
Yeah.
Let's get her at the table. Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to be the next Maid Man or Maid Maiden here at Raiders Fan Radio, just email the show an indefinite amount of times or call and leave your voicemail. And if we play it 3 times, then you can be the next Maid Man or Maid Maiden. All right, last one of the night before we get to the Sizzler Award. This has been fun, guys. What a fun
Hell
show.
yeah,
this
what a
has
great
been.
show.
Let's check in with our buddy down in Alabama. He is Josh in the 703.
Alabama.
Which always starts off with how?
What's up, fam?
What up, fam? Yep, draft week came and gone. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, Paul says she's got 2 Sizzlers already.
Oh, wow.
Oh, she's made.
Oh, she's made.
Slam
Yeah, she's
dunk,
made for
she's
sure.
made. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
What up, fam? Yep, draft week came and gone. I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting the Falcons to take Michael Penix Jr. because I thought that was gonna be our quarterback. But the pickup of Rob Bowers, that's gonna be the best tight end in the league. I watched that man George, go down all that shit,
Yeah,
but
he sure has too.
what he gonna do for the Raiders?
She's on there.
She's on there?
Like, that Travis Kelce, but no, that's Rob Bowers, baby. So I ain't gonna lie, love that pick. I know we showed up online, good. I was looking. I watched the little rundown we had. I was looking out for TJ Tampa. I can't remember the other dude's name, but I was hoping he was going to get one of them.
I'm not mad at the corners that we did get, though. One's a ball hawk. The other one, man, looked like he's just going to play mean from everything that I could tell, which I think that's what Coach wants. He wants that mean. You can teach the dude catch the ball, but having that instinct, having that fight in him, man, that's the one thing I'm thinking. We getting dogs. We getting motherfuckers wanting to fight. Motherfuckers playing through injury and shit. That's what I'm talking about. That's that football. That's what we trying to bring back. So, you know, now that running back, the special teams, man, shit. Can't wait for him to be running that ball back. I don't even remember the last time we had a kick return or punt return. I know Jeff probably knows. He got all the stats. But
Johnny Lee Higgins and Jacoby Ford.
There you go.
You know, then we had that safety we picked up, another ball hawk, but, you know, probably going to be replacing Mike Epps when he leaves because, you know, he only got like a year or so left. And, you know, I think they figured build a lineup, protect O'Connell. And I know everyone's saying Minshew, but I think O'Connell's going to get the nod only because dude was a rookie last year. He balled out, you know, to the best that he could for us last year. Now he got, you know, a year under his belt. Hopefully, he's got to get the system. That's the problem. We're bringing in a new offensive coordinator, so it's a new system everyone got to learn. So I think we're going to be relying on our defense pretty heavy, you know, till the offense gets up to speed. But when it does, man, what you going to do? You can't double team Bowers and Adams.
Come on.
You got to leave one of them. Man, shit. Wait, man, I'm just mad football season ain't here yet. But also, I want to say that to all them people that talking about bringing Brady back out of retirement. So I'm going to say it one more time. Man, Tom Brady.
Come on, Josh.
Love it. All right, Jeff, before we turn over to you for the Sizzler Award, shame on me. We made, thank you, Paul Edgerton in the chat room. He's kind of like the RFR historian now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We made Susan in episode number 321, and
like a couple months ago.
It's a couple months ago. I got no brain, man. Like there's glitches in the matrix up here, man.
Yeah,
I
there
conflate
is.
things.
Oh.
Yeah, and I forget things, and so I'm sorry, Susan. She is already a maiden, and so we love having you be part of the squad. And also, if you want to be part of the squad, again, email the show, call the show, and you'll have a chance to not only be the next made man or made maiden, but you could maybe make a Sizzler Award, which goes to the best emailer or phone caller of the night. And swag, Jeff, who do we have tonight?
Absolutely, man. Well, we had some great emails from Hooligan, O-Flow, and Paul.
Paul says I was in pre-wedding fog.
Oh, that was a hard time for you.
I was abstaining from everything. I was in the trenches on that one.
Yep. 100%. But we had Jacob from Fresno, Rafa, Jay in St. Louis, Susan and Josh in the 703. But tonight's Sizzler Award goes to one that just made us laugh. We love to see it, man. It is Jay in St. Louis. Jordan Ford, you are the Sizzler.
I am the Sizzler.
Sizzler.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Bowers.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that guy play.
Holy shit, man. Let's freaking go.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for this marathon show, for all of you that have hung in there and watched the whole thing and been with us the whole time. Thanks to those of you that are new. Thanks to those of you that are on the Twitters, and even those of you that are on the Facebooks and on the Twitches and all the different various social media sites. We thank you so very, very much in your support of Raiders Fan Radio. And to one of you, please, let's not miss the super chats that have came in tonight. We had some monsters that came in.
I'm going to shut them out.
All right, and 100% of that money is going to go to the One Nation Foundation that supports Raiders-related charities. We love you guys so very, very much. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, also, I want to remind everybody that we've got 2 new shirts on TeePublic right now. And
good call, Michelle.
I've got one on.
Oh, that's so cool. So for those of you on the audio podcast, Michelle's showing our Podfather It's got Raiders, the Godfather font with Al Davis's bracelet and Super Bowl ring. That's such a badass shirt.
It's a badass shirt. And then Jeff's got the Welcome to Vegas sign one, but just go to TeePublic or you can go to RaidersFanRadio.com and there'll be a link there for you to order a shirt. Get you some gear.
Yep. Get you some swag, bruh. Absolutely, man. Much respect to those of you in the chat here on the YouTube. Paul, Leo, Jordan Ford, Yoshi, Raider Nick, Tider Raider, SoCal Sal, Mike Downs, Raider Dank Vader, House Junkies. Let's see. Corey Fleck. We got all the big dogs in the building, man. Much respect to each and every one of you guys. And respect to those of you that donated. Last Dive Bar, Raider 27, Pineapple, Rod Brubeck, and Fabricator Gill. We raised $187 tonight for the One Nation Foundation. So much respect to each and every one of you guys. So on behalf of Michelle, on behalf of Murf, my name is Swag Jeff. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. And don't forget, boys and girls, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland.
Damn right it did.
Damn right.
Get on YouTube!
Goodbye.
Some areolas and, what are you going to do?
What's